What if Naruto was neglected joined hands with dark personality? I am the personality who bears these painful memories on your behalf. Do you understand now? Because of those emotions and memories, tone was as cold as the cold wind. Gives people a chilling feeling. Naruto had seen this tone too many times from other people. Suddenly he was breathing heavily with a dark expression. I understand. And, I'm sorry, He had long felt that there was something there, helping him bear those memories and emotions. So Naruto quickly accepted the fact that he had other personalities. After accepting it, a lot of guilt quickly appeared on Naruto's face. I won't let you go through this alone again. I will help you share the pain and help you. How are you going to help? Fang Su interrupted Naruto with a sneer. Let me be the main personality, and you will be the sub-personality to bear this? Hearing Fang Su's rhetorical question, Naruto fell silent without answering. Judging from the memory just transmitted, it does take a personality to bear those painful memories. The thought of enduring the torture of those dark, abyss-like past day and night. Naruto flinched. And Naruto didn't dare to give his body to Fang Su. He felt the resentment and anger that came from his memory and wanted to destroy everything, although he had had these emotions before. Thinking of this, Naruto became even more silent and guilty. If he hadn't had these emotions, maybe the second personality in his mind wouldn't have such thoughts of destroying everything. Maybe he can temporarily lend his body to the second personality in his mind every once in a while? But can I get it back after giving it away? In the time given, will I continue to be tortured by those memories? Naruto's mood now is quite tangled and complicated. I also have mixed feelings about the sudden appearance of my personality, and I don't know how to deal with it. Fang Su felt extremely clearly what Naruto was thinking now. Also very satisfied with Naruto's guilt. He has the help of the system and can block his own authority. But Naruto didn't. So it's easy to operate now. He wanted to explain and eliminate Naruto's worries one by one and gain initial trust. After that, we will find a way to make Naruto's trust and dependence reach 10%, so that he can talk to him at any time. Thinking of this, the coldness in Fang Su's tone dissipated and became a little softer. Naruto, I have no intention of competing with you for my body right now. Remember what I said before? I am you and you are me. We are the opposite of the same object and a community of interests. The two of us distrusting and relying on each other and fighting among ourselves will only make this body suffer. Working together to make this body live a better life is a win-win situation, and I can suffer less. Besides, you are the main personality. Even if I temporarily take control of the body, you can take back control at any time. And the main reason why I was born was to bear those memories and emotions. Every word Fang Su said could not be truer. It's just that he didn't finish telling the truth. There was still a lot left. He really didn't want to fight for his body right now. He just wanted to cooperate with Naruto to gain trust and dependence, and if he wanted to steal it, he would steal it later. Moreover, when the degree of trust and dependence is low, the main personality does have the greatest control over the body. Even if your emotions go crazy, you can take back control of your body at any time. The final reason for birth is even simpler. It was originally relying on Ajura Chakra to forcefully guide Naruto on the path of the child of destiny. Those emotions and memories that have been forcibly suppressed will naturally give birth to new consciousness. The wind that occupies this new consciousness is of course the consciousness itself. While Fang Su was speaking, he also opened up some permissions. Therefore, like Fang Su, Naruto could clearly sense whether what the other party said was true or false. Immediately, the gloom and anxiety on the little face were swept away, replaced by happiness and excitement. So that's it. Then we will be friends from now on. I will secretly let you out to play in the future, as long as you don't hurt others. When Naruto said this, the system also sent a message. Host personality dependence / trust value, 21%, it's actually 21%? Fang Su was a little surprised when he saw the system message. He also found that the space of consciousness that had slowly darkened and sunk had regained its brightness. Ruiawaruawa's terrifying suppression also dissipated by half in an instant. Tip: gaining initial trust is simple and artificially high, and it can easily fall back. For example, if the host does something that is not in line with the host's personality, it may drop to 0% in the next second. At the same time, host not only requires trust, but also requires dependence on the host personality. If only one trust wants to be stacked to 100%, it will be a long and highly unlikely process. Fang Su understood the meaning of the system as soon as he heard it. It is this trust and dependence that is best to improve at the beginning, but it is easy to lose. And you can't just focus on one point, you have to grasp it with both hands. It is difficult for individual trust and dependence to accumulate to 100%, but it is easy for the two together. What 21%? Naruto too, what are you talking about? Although Fang Su's exclamation just now was not loud, Naruto heard it quite clearly. This is the voice in his head. I'm counting some things that are good for us at 21%. Also, don't call me Naruto number 2. I just renamed myself Uzumaki Fuguzu. Fengxiu originally had no intention of intervening in this initial plot. However, trust depends on this thing, and the fewer objects, the better. Then he needs to find a way to squeeze Irika away. As unreal as the wind? Naruto nodded like a little adult. As expected of the other me, he is so educated and smart. After praising him, he immediately turned around and asked about the 21%. Something good for us? Fengxiu, do you have a way to make me become Hokage, or make everyone in the village like me? This was the most beneficial thing Naruto could think of. Fengxiu, you really think highly of me, but I don't have that ability. Host personality trust dependence value 11%. The beneficial thing I said is to help you pass the ninja school graduation exam. The exam will test the 3 body techniques. Do you think you can pass and become a genin? Host personality trust dependence value 30%. Help me pass the graduation exam. Naruto outside jumped 3 feet high with joy. If Fengxiu didn't say anything, he almost forgot about this matter. You know, he has been repeating the grade for 2 years. Now they are in the same grade as Suzuki, who entered school 2 years after him. At the beginning of the manga, Naruto is said to have failed the graduation exam twice, which can be understood as Naruto entered school at the age of 4, sure. Fengxiu's words were full of confidence. Just kidding, he is a time traveler who knows where the plot is going. First find the cleaning tools to clean the Hokage rock. I will tell you the details on the way. Counting the time, Irika should be here soon. Okay, I'll go find it right away. Naruto didn't care about cleaning either. He now wants to know how he can pass the exam and become a glorious genin. He actually took the initiative to come over and do some cleaning to make up for his mistakes. Naruto, you have really grown up. The teacher is so pleased. Irika squatted on the stone next to Hokage Rock, with tears in his eyes. He was delayed by Mizuki asking about Naruto's situation. I thought Naruto would sneak out and continue causing trouble. I didn't expect that I would take the initiative to clean the Hokage Rock. It's really incredible. Even the most mischievous Naruto has now changed his ways. Does this mean that his teaching level is getting higher and higher, and he has the qualifications to be the principal of a ninja school? Then mention his teaching title next year. 3rd generation adults should also agree, right? The more he thought about it, the hotter his heart became, and Irika even laughed out loud. Seeing Irika crying and laughing, Naruto didn't bother to pay attention. He just wants to finish cleaning quickly and go to teacher Mizuki to ask him to help him steal the sealed book. Irika, who dreamed of a perfect future, felt that Naruto was particularly pleasing to his eye at the moment. He immediately said, Naruto, in order to reward you for being better, after cleaning, I will treat you to ramen, teacher. Eat as much as you want until you feel like vomiting ramen. Naruto looked surprised. Although it's not expensive, it's not something he can afford regularly as a person who relies on relief rations. However, the expression of surprise soon stopped and became very confusing. After a long while, he reluctantly refused, no, I'm going to find Grandpa 3rd generation after I finish cleaning. These were all the words Fengxiu had prepared for Naruto in advance. Naruto didn't have time to eat ramen until night, so he had to find Mizuki while he was still in school. Otherwise, when Mizuki comes home, it won't be easy to ask around and attract attention. Is this so? Irika was very aware of Naruto's relationship with 3rd generation, so he didn't ask any more questions. But seeing the reluctance and frustration on Naruto's face, he said a little funny, if it doesn't work today, I'll do it tomorrow. If it doesn't work tomorrow, I'll do it the day after tomorrow. If I say I'll treat you to ramen, teacher, I'll definitely treat you to it. Hearing Irika's words, Naruto's eyes lit up again. They danced and cheered, long live Irika-sensei, within the space of consciousness. Fengxiu did not stop or interfere with the conversation between Irika and Naruto outside. Anyway, the plan has been arranged for Naruto. If nothing else, Irika is at best a teacher who is better than Naruto. He won't be as important a character as Naruto's father. He is now more concerned about the ninjutsu that can be unlocked by the blackening value. Ajura Chakra, blackening value 3 million, don't get it wrong, this is the cost of redemption. Nine Tails Chakra, blackening value 100,000. Irika Chakra, blackening value 100. There are not many that can be unlocked, only a few. These were all collected by the system after Naruto had close contact with them. If you want to unlock it, you have to spend the blackening value to parse it. And this analysis is not only chakra, but also the accompanying ninjutsu. It seems that I can only redeem Irika's strength now. Looking at his mere blackening value of 120, Fengxiu frowned. To be honest, he didn't want to waste the blackening value to change. After all, Naruto's strength has surpassed Irika's after learning multiple shadow clone. But his current strength is no different from Naruto's, and is not at the level of an ordinary genin. Moreover, the plot of stealing the sealed book was also tampered with. Therefore, we must make some preparations and gain some strength to deal with it. Although Umbu is protected by the 3rd generation, he is occasionally monitored by the 3rd generation using telescopes. But relying on others is only a bad idea after all, and relying on yourself is the safest option. System, can I redeem a single ninjutsu under the corresponding chakra individually? The system did not answer, but directly presented the exchange list just displayed. Azura Chakra Truth-Seeking Ball 2 million wood style ninjutsu 600,000, Super Shadow level physical skills 180,000 immortal body 200,000 High Fang Pill 5,000 wind release ninjutsu 2009 tails Chakra Yin 9 tails 50,000 Yang 9 tails 50,000 1 tail Chakra mode 2002 tail Chakra mode 8,003 tails Chakra mode 14,000 8 tails Chakra mode 44,000 Irika Chakra Chinin Taijutsu 53 body skills 10 various ninjutsu 40 seeing. The detailed list manifested, Fang Su's lips twitched. Still can't afford to replace it. The minimum price of this powerful one is several thousand to tens of thousands, which is really not something that a poor man like him can afford. But looking at Irika's physical skills that required 50 blackening points to be redeemed, Fang Su had an idea. Chunin generally doesn't have much ninjutsu and not much chakra. Most of the time, physical skills are used, as well as weapons such as hidden weapon detonators. System, if I exchange Chunin Taijutsu, will the Chunin Taijutsu I exchange for other people's Chunin Taijutsu be superimposed? Host exchanges the same technique with different people, and the power can be superimposed. For example, if the host continuously accumulates and exchanges Chunin Taijutsu, it can be upgraded to Jonin Taijutsu. However, the cost will be much more than directly redeeming Jonin Taijutsu. I hope the host will make a careful decision. It's actually possible to superimpose power. Fang Su looked surprised. Taijutsu is a practical skill that every ninja knows and often uses. In this case, he can completely exchange all the physical skills he can see. There is no need to worry about losing money, it is definitely more practical than exchanging multiple ninjutsu. And don't forget Kai's 8 Gates dungeon. As his physical skills continue to accumulate, the power released by the 8 Gates armor may be enough to kill Kagaya with one kick. Then I will mainly use physical skills as an exchange from now on, and then save the blackening points to exchange for powerful ninjutsu. Fang Su immediately made plans for his future. But he doesn't plan to change it now, he still wants to save it to see. Outside, Naruto finished cleaning the Hokage rock as quickly as possible. After saying goodbye to Irika, he returned to the ninja school. And he had good luck, too. I happened to meet Mizuki, who was wandering around the school, asking about something with other teachers. It's Naruto, I know you, the naughty guy in Irika's class. Did you come to me specifically for something? Being blocked by Naruto, Mizuki was smiling, but his eyes were flashing with various thoughts. Teacher Mizuki, can you tell me about the sealed book? As soon as Naruto finished speaking, Mizuki's expression changed. The smile at the corner of his mouth disappeared, and he stared at him with a sinister expression. Could it be that his plan was exposed? Seeing Mizuki's expression, Naruto was also a little scared. He repeatedly recounted what Fang Su had taught him. Teacher, don't be angry. I just accidentally heard you talking about it when you were chatting with others. You said that thing records a lot of powerful ninjutsu. I just want to try to learn it so I can graduate from school. After hearing Naruto's explanation, Mizuki also realized that his reaction was too big and quickly put on a smile again. Looking at Naruto, who had failed to graduate twice, an idea suddenly came to his mind. Sorry, the teacher was a little too aggressive just now. After all, this book of seals is the treasure of our village. But if you learn the above ninjutsu, it will be very simple to graduate from school. Mizuki told the location he had investigated. At the same time, he instilled in Naruto the idea that he could graduate by learning ninjutsu. And Naruto also followed Fang Su's arrangement and revealed to Mizuki his idea of stealing if he failed the exam tomorrow. This also made the smile on Mizuki's face brighter and his tone more intimate. He planned to kill people and steal goods after Naruto stole the sealed book. Once Naruto dies, he might be able to release the demon fox from 12 years ago. By then no one would have time to pay attention to him. He was also able to escape with the sealed book unharmed. Just when Naruto and Mizuki combined their efforts. Inside the Hokage's office in the center of Konoha, Sarutobi Hiruzen smoked a dry cigarette and looked at the crystal ball on the table in front of him with evil eyes. The art of telescope. As long as you remember a person's chakra, you can use this technique to view it from a distance. But the range is only the size of the entire Konoha village. Naruto actually discovered his little tricks. This guy Mizuki is really useless. He was already well aware of Mizuki's recent behavior of asking around for the book of sealing. Of course, they didn't take it seriously. Just an ordinary chunin who doesn't deserve to be on the stage. No matter how much trouble there is, there won't be any trouble. However, he could use this opportunity to test Naruto and send Kushina's ninjutsu over. After all, this is Nine Tails Jinchuriki, a big killer. He has been taught and raised for so long, but he cannot continue to be useless like this. And as the grandfather who loves Naruto the most, not punishing him afterwards will help Naruto know his love. Hidden in the darkness behind Sarutobi Hiruzen, the Hokage belongs directly to Umbu. Seeing Sarutobi Hiruzen looking at the crystal ball with a cold expression, he suddenly appeared and asked softly, Master Hokage, do you need us to cut off him? Konoha is a big tree, and if there is a problem with the branches and buds on it, it naturally needs to be cut off. Sarutobi Hiruzen put down the cigarette in his mouth and shook his head. No, just let Umbu keep an eye on it. By the way, go ask someone to find me a blank scroll. He was going to make a fake sealed book. Just put multiple shadow clone on it. With Naruto's Uzumaki clan's ability to draw, he could naturally learn it as easily as her mother. After receiving the order, the Umbu replied yes and disappeared in a flash. Naruto, who was separated from Mizuki, quickly shuttled across the roof. Each foot stepped very hard, making a roaring sound. At the same time, he also burst into gleeful laughter. This immediately provoked a burst of abuse from the villagers in the house below, especially when I poked my head out and saw that the person traveling through was Naruto. The curses became even more vicious and limitless. It wasn't until Naruto returned home that he stopped hearing the curses. Blackening value +1, blackening value +2, current blackening value 320. As soon as he got home, Naruto lay down on his bed, and the smile on his face disappeared instantly. Thanks you, when should we set off tonight? That's right, if you steal anything tomorrow, it will all be a lie to Mizuki. Only in this way can Irika be prevented from participating. Moreover, Fengsu was certain that the conversation between Naruto and Mizuki must have been monitored by third generation. Let Naruto take action tonight because he wants to see if he can find the real sealed book. After all, ninjutsu such as Flying Thunder God, Imperfect Earth Reincarnation, and Seal of Ghouls still make him covet. There's no rush, let's continue walking around outside twice, do some damage, and then steal the sealed book. Hearing what Fengsu said, Naruto's face was full of confusion and resistance. Didn't you do it when you came back just now? I don't want to hear them scold me anymore, it's unpleasant and uncomfortable. It's okay to get scolded once or twice a day. But after too many times, he was afraid that he would have that emotion again and eventually pass it on to Fengsu. It's okay, we just have to face this kind of thing positively. You are affected only if you are scolded less. If you are scolded too much, you will naturally feel nothing. Just after returning all the way, he made a net profit of 200 blackening points. Of course, Fengsu would not miss this opportunity. Maybe if you spin a few more times, you can collect 2,000. Then redeem it directly for one-tail chakra mode. As for the original 9 tails in Naruto's body, Fengsu had no intention of touching it. He is not the main personality. What if 9 tails attacks his soul? Minato and Kushina's chakra really may not come forward to protect him. Okay, you are right. We will leave as soon as I have a bowl of instant noodles. With that said, Naruto picked up the instant noodles on the table and started to boil hot water. At the same time, I took out half a carton of milk from the refrigerator. Through Naruto's vision, Fengsu could see very clearly. The expiration dates on those items were all months past their expiry date. Damn stupid villagers. You just take it out on a kid who doesn't know anything. As well as third generation in Danzo, I will definitely settle this account with you clearly in the future. These memories of stomachache or diarrhea after eating are still fresh in Fengsu's memory. He immediately stopped him and said, "Don't eat expired food. This is my body too. Don't you still have money? Let's go eat Ichiraku ramen." Naruto looked hesitant, but we don't have much money, and we still have half a month to live. And these things are not necessarily bad. I have eaten them many times without any stomachache. Naruto was interrupted by Fengsu before he finished speaking. Don't worry about money, I will find a way. Go to Ichiraku Ramen now, immediately. Fengsu was relieved by the owner of Ichiraku Ramen, who had always been very good to Naruto. He would certainly not feed this body expired food. If you have wind deficiency, you don't have to worry about experiencing abdominal cramps and diarrhea again. Yeah. Naruto nodded happily and ran out the door. In addition to Grandpa third generation, he feels like he has another person he can rely on. Host personality relies on trust value 31 after eating Ichiraku ramen happily. Naruto followed Fengsu's instructions and went to the stores that sold him expired food. He didn't do anything, just moved a small chair to the door and sat down. While stopping people entering the store, he talked to the passers-by. The owner of this store was so nice to him, selling things for free, and often subsidizing him. It makes sense and is just like the truth. In short, everyone glared at the boss and planned to never come to this store again. Naturally, the boss was not used to Naruto. He cursed and hit Naruto with his hands. Naruto, who has the strength of genin, is naturally not afraid of store owners who are just ordinary people. While dodging the attack, he yelled, "Boss, I understand," and wanted to put on a show for them, and then screamed exaggeratedly. In short, under the blessing of various emotions, Fengsu made another 400 blackening points. This also made Fengsu understand that just making Naruto sad and painful would not have blackening value. The pleasure that Naruto brings when he takes revenge on others can also be counted as a blackening value. However, when I was happy, the blackening value was not generated. Host personality trust dependence value 33, current blackening value 720. Although it is still not enough to exchange, Feng Su does not intend to continue to waste time. He said to Naruto, who was about to piss off the store owner, "Naruto, it's time to act." Inside the mansion of the Sarutobi clan, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at the crystal ball with interest. "Naruto, this guy is really interesting, very good." With such a commotion, this store owner really can't explain it clearly. I'm afraid he won't be able to do business in the future. He was very appreciative of what Naruto had done. Moreover, he also knew that this store often sold Naruto's expired food, so he was not considered innocent. Oh, if Asuma can have Naruto's skills, then I can save a lot of worry. Asuma thought about quarreling with himself and becoming a guardian ninja. Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but sigh. My son's ideas and paths are not in line with my own, so he is considered useless. Therefore, he must pay more attention to his grandson Konohamaru. It would allow him to get closer to Naruto and learn from Naruto's cunning little tricks. Thinking like this, Naruto and the crystal ball started to move again. This is my house. The Sarutobi clan's mansion is not far from the commercial street, and it is considered to be in a pretty good location in Konoha. Sarutobi Hiruzen has brought a lot of benefits to the family during his reign over the years. However, they are low-key on the surface and do not have the same limelight as the Hyuga clan, but the hidden comprehensive strength has already exceeded a lot. It is not an exaggeration to say that they are the truly largest clan in Konoha. Didn't you say you came to steal it tonight? Good guy, this kid actually saw clearly what Mizuki was thinking and even played tricks on Mizuki. As he spoke, he also used the telescope technique to check Mizuki. He found Mizuki lying on his bed having fun. It seems that he is dreaming about learning the ninjutsu of the sealed book and reaching the pinnacle of his life. What a waste. No wonder you would want to take advantage of a genin who has not graduated. With disdain and disgust on his face, Sarutobi Hiruzen ordered toward the darkness beside him. Find a way to remind Mizuki and let him know that Naruto has started to take action. He also needed Mizuki to test Naruto. Use danger to detect the nine-tail seal on Naruto. Let's see if we can release Naruto safely and use it. Yes. A white Tengu mask appeared in the darkness and then disappeared. Sarutobi Hiruzen withdrew his gaze and looked at the crystal ball again. At the same time, he also rolled up the half-copied scroll on the document. This little guy really doesn't make people worry. I was just lazy, but the preparation turned out to be useless. After saying that, he stood up and walked out of the room. Fortunately, this multiple shadow clone is the first one in the Book of Sealings. Let Naruto steal it and learn it, and then let Umbu stop it. But I still have to put away the other sealed books, lest this little guy Naruto steals the wrong ones. The books of seals all record forbidden techniques. That is, A-class, S-class, and ninjutsu that cause great damage to the body. There are so many ninjutsu that they can't even fit into one scroll. Besides, it's not that Sarutobi Hiruzen looked down on Naruto. In addition to the multiple shadow clone that Jinchuriki of the Uzumaki clan can learn quickly, Naruto can't learn other ninjutsu even if he gives it a few months. Sarutobi Hiruzen looked like he was giving alms, but Feng Su didn't see it. Otherwise, I really want to say something through Naruto's mouth. A shameless old guy who eats everything. Return the things that belong to Naruto, and act like you are taking care of the junior. How disgusting. Why did you come to my house in the middle of the night? Seduction. After the grandiose cry, there was the sound of blood spurting and falling to the ground. With an excited smile on his face, Naruto came to the bookshelf where he was stored. At a glance, I saw a big nameplate, "The sealed book is here." Found it. Naruto had no doubts and picked up the large scroll in the grid above the nameplate. He carried it behind his back, then turned around and ran out of the mansion. Mizuki, who received the reminder, had just arrived. He happened to see Naruto leaving Sarutobi's mansion carrying a scroll. Suddenly his eyes were splitting, and he was extremely angry. "Damn you little fox demon, how dare you play tricks on me? If Irika hadn't found your person to ask me, I would have been fooled by you." The Irika Mizuki was talking about was of course Umbu's person pretending to be here, specifically to remind Mizuki. After being reminded, Shuimu understood immediately and ran straight over here. Looking at Naruto walking away, he naturally did not have time to inform Irika and other ninjas as in the original plot. Coupled with the anger of being played by a kid, Mizuki immediately pulled away and followed him. As soon as he reached a deserted place, he would immediately kill Naruto to vent his hatred. Feng Su, where are we going now? Are we going home?" Naruto, who was carrying the scroll on his back, was extremely excited and could not hide the excitement in his voice. Compared with this incident, the previous mischief was just like children playing house. How can I practice ninjutsu when I get home? Go to the Death Forest in the northeast, where there are fewer people. Fang Su casually mentioned a place, and then stared at the list given by the system. Multiple Shadow Clone Technique, 500 Flying Thunder God Technique, 3000 Reincarnation of the Dirty Soil, Remnant 1500 Rasengan 2000. There are actually 4 techniques. Is this really true? Fang Su's voice could not conceal his excitement and surprise. Although there are only 4 techniques, each of them is awesome. Because there is no matching chakra, the blackening value required is obviously much less. But this doesn't matter, the chakra of the Uzumaki clan is enough. Even if that's not enough, there's also half of Nine Tails chakra. This chakra is actually a trivial matter, mainly because these ninjutsu are difficult to learn. If Feng Su didn't have a system, he could learn directly and successfully. He really had no intention of using the sealed book Jonin technique, but the blackening value on hand is still not enough. It's really heart-wrenching to see. Feng Su's feeling at this time was like entering a treasure mountain and returning empty-handed, unable to spend money guarding the golden mountain. I hope Shuimu can be more powerful later and give me more blackening points. Even if it's not enough to exchange for Flying Thunder God, I can at least exchange it for One-Tail Chakra Mode. Mizuki was originally a test for Naruto. Fang Su fully believed that Mizuki would be tricked by 3rd generation. Outside, as soon as Naruto entered the Forest of Death, he couldn't wait to find a place to sit down. Then open the sealed book and start looking at the contents above. Multiple Shadow Clone Technique, Flying Thunder God Technique, Earth Reincarnation Technique, Raise-Non. It's so difficult. I can't understand the last 3, so I'd better learn the first one. As long as I learn how to do it, I will definitely shine on the exam tomorrow and surprise that guy Suzuki. Thinking that he could show off in front of his friends tomorrow, Naruto felt refreshed all over. Even learning the multiple Shadow Clone techniques feels extremely smooth. But he was only halfway through learning when he heard Feng Su's reminder. There's a hidden weapon attack from behind, get out of the way. Whoosh whoosh. A dozen kunai were shot from the tree behind Naruto with strong wind. Naruto, who heard Feng Su's reminder, was too close to avoid it. Who is attacking me? Naruto, frightened and angry, looked back. At a glance, he saw Mizuki standing on the branch of a tree and sneering. Teacher Mizuki, how come? Didn't I tell you that I just went to steal it? Seeing that Naruto dared to talk about this matter, Mizuki was so angry that his eyes and nose were crooked. He was a Chunin, and was actually tricked by a quasi-genin brat. If you tell me, it will really make everyone laugh for the rest of their lives. Damn little beast, do you really think others can see through this little trick of yours? Shuimu's face was full of hatred, and he jumped down from the tree. Hand over the sealed book, and I may be merciful and let you go. He said he would let you go, but the murderous intent in Shuimu's eyes had already spilled out. Obviously he wanted to play cat and mouse to vent his anger before he was discovered. Slightly. This is the treasure of the village, and I won't give it to you, the spy idiot. Naruto, who had been reminded by Feng Su long ago, naturally knew that Mizuki was not a good person. So the anger and surprise faded quickly. After speaking, Feng Su had already prepared the words. He made a face and ran out holding the sealed book. Naruto's words also made Mizuki laugh angrily, with cold murderous intent filling his entire face. Haha, you are a useless little beast that no one wants. Today I will show you the real ninja skills. After saying that, Mizuki raised his hand and threw the large four-cornered shuriken behind his back. Terrifying whistling and cutting sounds came from behind Naruto in an instant. And Naruto, as if he had expected it, easily dodged it by turning sideways. At the same time, in Naruto's conscious world, Feng Su looked at Mizuki behind him with a fierce look on his face. Naruto, let me come out, you are no match for him. Obviously, according to the current development of the plot, it will be difficult for Naruto to lose control of his emotions and go berserk. But Feng Su didn't want to miss this good opportunity to come out and breathe. No need, I'm used to being chased by others, he can't catch me. Naruto's trust and dependence on Feng Su has reached 33%. But this 33% is not the real 33%, and it may fall back if there is a slight disturbance. In addition, Naruto is still afraid that Feng Su will use his body to kill people. Therefore, if he could not give his body to Feng Su, he would try not to give it to Feng Su. Besides, we are both the same. If I can't beat you, you can't beat me either. After I get rid of him and learn the multi-layered shadow clone, I will return this thing. When Naruto spoke, Mizuki had already caught up with him from behind. He was a Chunin after all, and it would not be difficult to catch up with Naruto. Beast Fox Demon, I want your left hand with this blow. Mizuki had a fierce look on his face, and the kunai in his hand pierced Naruto's left hand like lightning. Seeing kunai attacking him, Naruto's steps suddenly stopped. He stretched out his arms to hug the tree trunk and stopped steadily. As for Mizuki, it was because of the force on his hands. The pace under his feet failed to stop, and he jumped far away. Because of this operation, Naruto knew who was in danger throughout the entire process and was mentally prepared. So he was not as overwhelmed and frightened as in the original plot. Therefore, he also showed off his ability to walk Irika and others after causing trouble. Ha ha ha, what a big idiot, what a big stupid ass. Usually it takes a bunch of Chunin chasing him to catch him. There is only Mizuki now, and it is simply wishful thinking to catch him. Damn fox demon, disgusting fox demon. Seeing that Naruto still dared to stop and taunt him, Mizuki was about to explode with anger. Fox demon? Teacher Mizuki, are you afraid that you are going crazy? You can't catch me and start talking nonsense? Naruto said and made a face again, turned around and ran back. Luan Luo, keep eating my farts, but this time, Mizuki didn't get angry. Instead, he put on a playful smile and looked at Naruto who was walking away. He. Naruto, I suddenly forgot that you don't know about this yet. Do you know why I call you a disgusting fox demon, and why the people in the village hate you? Mizuki's words stopped Naruto's steps. A huge uneasiness and fear struck his heart. It seemed as if the next words might pierce his life. Blackening value +2, blackening value +2. Oh, are we going to start? Fangxiu in the consciousness space also had a satisfied smile. With a cold smile on Mizuki's face, he walked slowly like a lion majesty. That's because, you are the fox demon from 12 years ago. You, what did you say? Naruto instantly froze on the spot. Then the little body trembled like chaff. Endless confusion and uneasiness enveloped him. Blackening value +20, blackening value +30. I am the nine-tails demon fox? Naruto collapsed backwards and sat on the ground with his eyes blank. He had also heard about the Nine Tails rebellion 12 years ago. It was said that a fox demon destroyed the village and killed many people. He now finally understood the way everyone looked at him at that time. No, impossible. I'm not a kitsune. I'm Naruto Uzumaki. Mizuki, who was already running, had a look of joy on his face. He didn't let go of his blow to Naruto. If you weren't the demon fox who destroyed the village, why would everyone hate you? If you weren't the demon fox who destroyed the village, why did no one ever tell you about your parents? Please touch your cheek. You can't feel the six-stroke beard, right? Blackening value +40. Mizuki had already rushed in front of Naruto. One hand grabbed Naruto's neck and lifted him up. The other hand easily took the sealed book in his arms. Disgusting demon fox, the village raised you, the third Hokage raised you, just to use you as a weapon. Even Irika, who was kind to you, his parents died tragically at your hands. Think about it, when he treats you well on the surface, what is he thinking in his heart? You should be thinking, disgusting fox demon, if it hadn't been for Hokage-sama's order, I would have eaten your flesh alive, and why doesn't this damn fox demon just die, or something like that? Blackening value +50. No, that's not the case, I'm not a fox demon. Looking at Naruto's collapsed expression with no will to survive, Mizuki's face was filled with the joy of revenge. Wake up, everyone wants you to die, so. Mizuki carried the scroll behind his back, and a kunao appeared in his right hand. You have fulfilled everyone's wish, go to hell. The kunao fell heavily and pointed directly at Naruto's eyebrows. Current blackening value 3920. System, switch personalities. The main character's emotions completely lost control and collapsed, and the personality switch was successful. A small hand grasped Mizuki's arm like an iron vice. Oh, who do you want to let die? Inside the Sarutobi mansion, Sarutobi Hiruzen held a cigarette in his mouth and looked gloomy. It seems that this idiot Mizuki has really had enough of life, and he dares to sow discord between Naruto and me. I originally planned to kill him to end the problem. I hope he can stay in Ibixie's hands for a while longer. To be honest, Sarutobi Hiruzen now regrets letting Mizuki test Naruto. He should find an Umbu, disguised as an enemy, to do this. But regretting now won't help. He can only mend the relationship later. Fortunately, under his operation, Naruto was a child hated by everyone. As Naruto's only light, it should be fine with a little fooling around. Now let's see if Naruto loses control, and if he loses control, can he master that power? Don't let me down, Naruto, the other side. Naruto, oh no, it should be Fangxiu. There was a chilling murderous intent in his eyes. It even caused the surrounding temperature to drop to 0. Naruto was not the only one affected by what Mizuki said just now. The kind of collapse, fear, uneasiness, confusion and self-blame were all experienced by Fangxiu. Even the dark and painful memories of the past hit my mind like a tidal wave. If this were not the case, the blackening value would not have skyrocketed by more than 3,200 in just a few minutes. I didn't expect you to still have the strength to resist, you're quite powerful. Although Mizuki's right hand was tightly held, there was no way it could fall down. But there was no panic in his eyes, just a quasi-genin child. It is estimated that this is just a flashback before death, and it will not last long. As for breaking through the seal and becoming a demon fox, don't be ridiculous. If the seal could be broken through from the inside, it would have been broken long ago. He has to be allowed to break the container outside before the demon fox can break through the seal. Once the demon fox comes out, no one will care if he escapes. Breathe. Is this the smell of the real world? I really miss it. After taking a deep breath of oxygen that smells like trees, Feng Xiu looked at Mizuki in front of him again. There was a shocking murderous intent in his eyes. The palm that pinched Mizuki's arm began to tighten and exert force. You were smiling quite happily just now. At the same time as he spoke, news from the system also came. Exchange Shinin Taijutsu, Irika-50 Exchange Shinin Taijutsu, Water and Wood, -60 Redeem Elite Jonin Taijutsu, Sarutobi Hiruzen, -800. The Exchange Taijutsu comes with physical fitness. The third generation is old, so it is not enough for the shadow level. Current blackening value, 3010. Originally, Feng Xiu planned to exchange it directly for one-tailed chakra mode. But when things came to a close, I gave up this option. He didn't know what the third generation was thinking, and he didn't intend to run out of Konoha to face the covetousness of the Akatsuki organization and other villages, so he was prepared to hold back for the time being and follow the timeline of the original plot. When we get to the country of waves, we can use that rampage to exchange for the power of 9 tails. Now, according to the original plan, I will exchange the universal oil of physical skills first. How come? Feeling the huge force and pain coming from his arm, Mizuki's expression was finally no longer relaxed. He looked at Naruto, who was completely different from before, with a distorted expression on his face. Are you a demon? Before the word fox came out, there was a click, a dash. The screams of pain echoed through the night sky. Mizuki's arm was directly pinched off by Feng Xiu after the physical exchange surgery, showing an irregular 90-degree droop. One arm was crippled, and Mizuki quickly reacted. The other hand that was holding Feng Xiu's neck suddenly withdrew its strength and wanted to break Feng Xiu's neck. Disgusting demon fox, died. Click. There was another crack of bones breaking. Shuimu's arm that originally pinched Feng Xiu's neck flew into the sky. Feng Xiu, on the other hand, landed with a bloodthirsty smile. In his hand was a kunao that was dripping blood. Blackening value +2, blackening value +3. This time it should be the pleasure of revenge again, right? Thinking in his mind, Feng Xiu walked towards Shuimu with a bright smile. Teacher Mizuki, you are really weak, you can't arouse any interest in me. Elite Jonin level Taijutsu versus Education Shinin. That was really overwhelming strength. Mizuki, who retreated and fell to the ground, also felt this. Not only did he feel the changes in strength before and after, he also felt the changes in people. Although Naruto was hateful at first, he was just annoying. There is still childlike innocence and kindness in his eyes. But Feng Xiu, who was unleashing violent murderous intent and resentment in front of him, was as terrifying as an evil ghost from hell. Shuimu also thought of something. His face was filled with fear, and his eyes were full of despair and regret. You are not Naruto, you are a fox demon. You broke the seal. Ha ha ha, fox demon. Feng Xiu laughed heartily, the amusement on his face unmistakable. The fox demon will not talk to you so much, nor will he want to play games with you. Play games. Mizuki's originally gloomy eyes gave birth to hope. Sure enough, he is not a fox demon, just a child who lacks love. I can play with you, whatever you want, as long as you are willing to let me go. Feng Xiu did not answer this question, but tapped the tree trunk next to him with the kunao in his hand. There was an innocent and cheerful smile like a child on his face. Let's play ghost hunting. If I count to 100 and don't catch you, you win. The bet is your life. The sweet childlike words are full of malice. Mizuki couldn't care less about being afraid. The desire for life made him ignore the pain of his broken hand, quickly get up and run into the distance. 100, 99, 98. The sound of Feng Xiu's voice made Shuimu step faster. But the next second, a strong wind sounded behind him. Pull! The kunao scratched the skin on his back, and a burning pain instantly swept through his body. 75, 74, 73. The sound that continued sounded made Mizuki's screams come to an abrupt end. He gritted his teeth and tried his best to escape forward. Pull! There was another strong wind that cut through the air. Mizuki's right leg was completely broken, and he screamed and fell to the ground. 40, 39, 38. The urging sound is like the ringing of a Shinigami bell. Mizuki didn't dare to stop, sobbed and groaned and crawled out with his left leg. Pull! This time, the only remaining left leg was completely broken. 20, 19, 18. Mizuki shivered, trembled, and dragged his chin on the ground. There are only 20 left, I'm not dead yet, I want to live. As he listened to the fewer and fewer numbers, his eyes looked forward, full of desire for life. 3, 2. The sound in his ears made Mizuki smile unconsciously. He is going to win, he is going to escape. However, the last one didn't come, and all that came was a kunao that pierced the chest from behind. Hee, Teacher Mizuki, you lose. I didn't lose, I'm still alive. Shuimu held on and finished speaking this sentence and then breathed his last. The eyes that look into the distance still retain the desire for life. Blackening value plus 100, current blackening value 3300. Revenge against Mizuki allowed Fengxiu to earn another 290 blackening points. But there are pros and cons. In this moment's consciousness, Naruto also recovered. He also felt relieved about Mizuki's death. But the good side of his heart quickly overwhelmed this feeling. Fengxiu, you killed someone. You killed Mr. Mizuki. You clearly promised me that you would not use my body to kill people. Naruto was extremely excited and scared at the moment. I was excited because the strength Fengxiu used was so strong that even Teacher Chinen was no match for him. Does it mean that he actually has this strength, but he just didn't show it? The fear was because when Fengxiu killed Shuima just now, it was a bit scary and frightening. He didn't want Fengxiu to turn into a perverted murderer and lose this friend. He even wanted Fengxiu to be friendly and gentle to everyone like him. Host personality relies on trust value 20%. Fengxiu had already anticipated the decline in trust and dependence. But I didn't expect that the decrease was not much, it was still 20%. It seemed that he already had a good place in Naruto's heart. I didn't kill people indiscriminately. Even if I didn't do anything to the traitor Mizuki, he would be dealt with by the village afterwards. After a casual explanation, Fengxiu reached out and took down the sealed book from Shuimu's back. And Naruto reluctantly accepted this explanation. Forget it, for the sake of saving us, I will forgive you this time, forgive me? Fengxiu's smile faltered, and his brows wrinkled slightly. But he didn't say much, since he himself didn't have any good intentions towards Naruto anyway. Naruto didn't notice anything wrong with Fengxiu's emotions. On the contrary, after seeing the sealed book in Fengxiu's hand, he suddenly remembered that he had not finished learning ninjutsu. Immediately shouted, Fengxiu, give your body back to me. There was no room for Fengxiu to refuse to resist. A huge suction force suddenly appeared, dragging his consciousness down. The next second, their identities were exchanged. Naruto reappeared outside and took control of the body. Fengxiu, on the other hand, returned to the void consciousness space. Wow! How amazing! I just shouted, and he came right out. This was also the first time that Naruto took the initiative to switch personalities, and his face was full of excitement. But he immediately thought of Fengxiu, who was forced to hand over his body. He quickly apologized non-stop. I'm sorry, Fengxiu. I will let you out for some fresh air when you get home. Now I have to hurry up and learn the art of multiple shadow clone, and then return this thing. Thinking that you can take back control of your body at any time, Naruto was not afraid to hand over his body temporarily. Host personality relies on trust value 30. Okay, I will remember what you said. If you can come out to breathe frequently, you will naturally not refuse if you were Fengxiu. Besides, if he could come out often, he might be able to make some arrangements. He didn't intend to be a sub-personality for a long time and be locked in that small space of consciousness. Successfully mastered ninjutsu, multiple shadow clone techniques, just when Fengxiu was thinking about the next arrangement. Naruto outside also successfully learned multiple shadow clone techniques. After you have learned it, you naturally want to give it a try. After several seals, Naruto's all over the mountains and plains occupied this forest land. What an awesome ninjutsu! I feel like I can beat 2 Mizuki teachers now. Looking at his masterpiece, Naruto couldn't help but pull Mizuki out as a unit of measurement. Just when Naruto was complacent and thinking about how to show off tomorrow, Irika's surprised voice sounded from the tree branch behind. Naruto! There are so many Narutos. Is this the art of multiple shadow clone? Ah, it's Irika-sensei. Naruto turned their heads together and saw Irika with a surprised face. Grandpa 3rd generation sent you here, but I have already learned a ninjutsu. I'll give this back to you. You can take it to Grandpa 3rd generation. After throwing the sealed book to Irika, Naruto's true body immediately fled, leaving behind a number of clones blocking the way. As he walked, he shouted, there is also Teacher Mizuki. He has rebelled and wants to kill me and steal my things. But I am stronger and I killed him back. Teacher, please remember to explain it to Grandpa 3rd generation. Hearing Naruto's shouting, Irika's pupils shrank. He even forgot to stop the escaping Naruto immediately. Shuimu rebelled and wanted to kill you, but he was killed instead. Naruto, wait a minute. If such a big thing happens, explain it to me. Irika reacted and immediately wanted to chase Naruto, but they were stopped by Naruto's clones. At the same time, a path was opened, revealing Mizuki's body lying on the ground. It's really Mizuki. He was killed by Naruto, who had repeated the grade for 2 years. Irika, who stepped forward to check, was stunned. He was a little frightened by the miserable death of Mizuki. Naruto looked at the people around him with fear and uneasiness in their eyes. It's like watching some kind of monster, or rather watching 9 Tails from 12 years ago. After Naruto saw Irika's eyes, their expressions darkened. Sure enough, as Mizuki said before, Irika was equally afraid and disgusted with him in his heart. Naruto's expressions also made Irika realize that something was wrong with him. He quickly suppressed the emotion and wanted to say something, but bang 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 sounds sounded one after another. Naruto, who ran away, released the shadow clone here. No, I have to find Naruto to explain. Thinking of the task given to him by the third generation to take care of Naruto, Iruka plucked up the courage and prepared to chase Naruto. But before he could lift his feet, Umbu emerged from the shadows wearing a mask. There's no need to go. The mission given to you by Master Hokage has failed. Return the sealed book, and Master Hokage will tell you whether to continue the mission. The way Iruka looked at Naruto just now, and the distant look Naruto gave back. This means that Iruka has failed in his mission of taking care of Naruto, and it is not suitable for him to forcefully stick to him again. I was just scared, I didn't mean to do it. Iruka still wanted to explain, but this Umbu was too lazy to listen. He grabbed Mizuki's body and disappeared. Naruto. Iruka looked towards the direction where Naruto disappeared. After hesitating for a while, he sighed deeply, turned around and ran in the other direction. In the end, he did not choose to go to Naruto to explain or offer comfort. The miserable death of Shuimu, who was cut into a human pig, kept appearing in his mind. The sympathy for Naruto's life experience as an orphan was eventually annihilated in the emotion of fear. Iruka knew very well that for Naruto, he could no longer be the same as before. Sarutobi Mansion. Sarutobi Hiruzen comforted Iruka and then sent him away. There was no mention of the task of taking care of Naruto. After returning the sealed book to the storage room, Sarutobi Hiruzen stood in the corridor with his hands behind his hands and said to the darkness, "Tell me everything about tonight and Naruto's changes." Although the telescope can see clearly. But after all, we are not at the scene, so some details will be ignored, and the dialogue will not be heard clearly if the sound is lowered. So Umbu, who watched the whole thing, was needed to recreate what happened before. Yes. A masked figure suddenly emerged from the darkness. Kneel down on one knee respectfully, and then start to talk about everything you experienced that night. The front was very different from what Sarutobi Hiruzen saw, but from the moment Naruto was choked by Mizuki, what he heard made Sarutobi Hiruzen frown. What he saw from a bird's eye view was that Naruto exploded with considerable strength and attacked Mizuki secretly. Then he tortured and retaliated against Mizuki, who talked nonsense. However, Naruto's voice was too soft and he didn't hear it clearly. He only heard Mizuki's wailing. But what Umbu described to him was that Naruto seemed to be a different person after being choked. Mizuki was not attacked by a sneak attack, but was crushed head-on by Naruto using ruthless means. Behind it is a cat playing with its prey like a mouse. He gave Mizuki hope and then dashed it with his own hands. This method is completely unlike that of an innocent boy who is still in school. Of course, this is not the most important thing. The most important thing is the two words Naruto said before he was choked and fought back. "Is this what the real world smells like? I really miss it." These two sentences contain a lot of information, but they are enough to show that it was not Naruto himself at that time. So what else is in Naruto's body? The answer is readily apparent: 9 tails. Otherwise it can't be Minato and Kushina, right? Thinking of this, the gloomy Sarutobi Hiruzen asked, "Were you aware of the 9 tails chakra?" This Umbu thought for a moment and then said firmly, "No. Naruto only used taijutsu at the time, and we did not detect any chakra fluctuations." "Isn't there 9 tails chakra?" Sarutobi Hiruzen's frown deepened. But after understanding the situation, there is no need for Umbu to wait here anymore. Then he waved to him, "I understand, you go down first." "Yes." Umbu lowered his head and responded before disappearing. Chakra without 9 tails. Could it be that 9 tails consciousness slipped out of the seal, but chakra couldn't break through? Regarding Naruto's situation, Sarutobi Hiruzen was really confused. However, there is no chakra from 9 tails, which is generally a good thing. At least you don't have to worry about 9 tails breaking the seal and getting out of control. It also shows that the seal is still very secure and there is no need to worry. And Naruto, the Jinchuriki, can be released and used with peace of mind. Speaking of Naruto, Sarutobi Hiruzen suddenly remembered something. He turned around and walked back to the papers in the room. The detective took out a thin envelope from the drawer under the document. "I still don't know if Mizuki's words had any impact on Naruto. It's really an advantage for him to die so easily. And Iruka, it's really mud that can't support the wall, and I can't even handle a small task. Now I have to wipe my ass myself." While whispering softly, Sarutobi Hiruzen put on his coat. But before leaving, he hesitated while holding the thin envelope. After a while, he returned to the desk, took out a small wad of $100 bills from the drawer and stuffed it into the envelope. There are almost 10 in this small pile, plus the 10 in the envelope. Finally, it no longer has that thin feel when pinched. With satisfaction on his face, Hiruzen Sarutobi picked up the Hokage hat and walked out of the door. Dong dong dong. Not long after returning home, Naruto, who was still in excitement, heard a knock on the door outside. Is there someone knocking on the door? Is today the day to collect living expenses again? Normally, except when Sarutobi Hiruzen sent someone to deliver living expenses, Naruto's door never rang. Calculating, the time should be less than half a month, right? Muttering, Naruto trotted over and opened the door. Then he saw Sarutobi Hiruzen with a kind smile. Grandpa third generation. Naruto looked surprised. This is the person who treats him best in the village. He is also the person closest to him, just like his biological grandfather. Naruto, I'm here to see you. Sarutobi Hiruzen spoke softly and looked at Naruto as if he were his own grandson. Won't you invite me in? No, come in quickly. Naruto quickly got out of the way. He was so happy that Grandpa third generation could come visit him. It seems that his prank of stealing things tonight has successfully attracted attention. Thinking of this, Naruto also recalled Mizuki's words before. The surprise on his face suddenly stopped, and the look he looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little more complicated. Damn Mizuki! It was a real advantage for him to die so easily. Seeing the change in Naruto's expression, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but curse Mizuki in his heart again. But the expression on his face was not affected, instead there was some worry and concern. Naruto, Grandpa has heard about what happened last night. Are you not injured? If you are injured, just tell Grandpa, and Grandpa will cure you even if he loses everything. Sarutobi Hiruzen's words matched his expression, and he really looked like a grandfather who was worried about his grandson's safety. It also made Naruto's little face full of emotion and happiness. It's so hypocritical and disgusting. Feng Su, who was watching in his mind, felt a little nauseous, but he was not prepared to interrupt or tell Naruto the true face of Sarutobi Hiruzen. Grandpa third generation, I'm fine, I'm not hurt at all. Naruto shook his body and made a I am strong gesture. It's okay. Sarutobi Hiruzen gently touched Naruto's head. Then the expression on his face darkened, and there was an apology in his eyes. Naruto, you have suffered so much these years. You are a big boy now, and there are some things you should know. In order to prevent Naruto from having a grudge, Sarutobi Hiruzen came here specifically to explain today. However, judging from Naruto's current performance, there is no complaint or resentment towards him and the village. It seems that he was very effective in brainwashing and attacking Naruto in the past. It's far more perfect than what Danzo said about being controlled by the curse seal. Grandpa third generation, I don't believe what Mr. Mizuki says at all. In fact, you don't have to. When things came to a close, Naruto was a little scared and worried. He was afraid that after this incident was exposed, third generation would change and no longer treat him well. Even if this good thing for him is just a pretense, he is not willing to lose it. Naruto's performance made the smile on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face grow wider. But now that the words have been spoken, he is not ready to take them back. So he said every word with a solemn look on his face. Naruto, you are not the Nine-Tails Demon Fox, you are a living person and a ninja of Konoha village. I'm not the Nine-Tails Demon Fox. Naruto froze on the spot, looking at the third generation in disbelief. But everyone hates me, and no one has told me about my parents or the beard on my face. Mizuki's previous words were deeply imprinted on Naruto's heart. It also made him basically admit the fact that he was a demon fox. That's because they have no idea what happened, including Mizuki. Sarutobi Hiruzen touched Naruto's head again. 12 years ago, Nine-Tails was sealed into your body by the fourth Hokage at the cost of his life. So you are not the Nine-Tails Demon Fox. I'm not a demon fox, I'm not a demon fox. Tears like a fountain fell from the corners of Naruto's eyes. This is not sadness, this is tears of joy. Mizuki's words put Naruto under too much pressure. Now that I know that I am not a demon fox, I naturally cannot control my emotions. Seeing Naruto crying so hard, Sarutobi Hiruzen shook his head in amusement. It wasn't until Naruto's crying subsided that he continued. Naruto, in fact, all the pain you have experienced over the years is a trial that will allow you to master the power of the Nine-Tails Demon Fox. A trial to master the power of the Nine-Tails Demon Fox, Naruto asked while sobbing. Why me and not someone else? Sarutobi Hiruzen looked like he knew you were going to ask this question, Kaido. Because you have this qualification, because we believe in you. Fourth Hokage and I believe that you can master the power of the Nine-Tails Demon Fox so that it will no longer harm innocent people, and use this power to protect the village and everyone, just like the fourth Hokage. Naruto's body trembled when he heard Sarutobi Hiruzen's words. Then he stopped sobbing and looked up with hope in his eyes. Same as the fourth Hokage, does it mean that after I master the power of the Nine-Tails Demon Fox, I can become a Hokage? Sarutobi Hiruzen's smile faltered upon hearing this, but he quickly returned to normal. Naruto, no one can be sure of the future. But Grandpa is sure that as long as you can use the power of Nine-Tails to protect the village, there is a high probability that you can become a Hokage. The high probability is just a probability, and if it is a probability, it is possible to fail. It's just that at Naruto's age, he couldn't have imagined this. On the contrary, because of Sarutobi Hiruzen's words, his sadness turned into joy, and he was extremely excited. I will be a Hokage in the future, ha ha ha. Seeing that Naruto was successfully fooled, he was still there enjoying himself. Sarutobi Hiruzen's hanging heart finally fell to the ground. But he didn't come here just to fool Naruto. He also wanted to figure out what the consciousness that occupied Naruto's body and fought Mizuki was. Okay Naruto, I've explained the Nine Tails thing to you, now it's your turn to explain it to me. Tell me, what is that thing that helped you kill Mizuki? Sarutobi Hiruzen's tone was undeniable. At the same time, his eyes were fixed on Naruto, not intending to miss any expression. Help me kill Mizuki's thing, Naruto exclaimed, his face full of panic at having discovered his little secret. Seeing Naruto's appearance, Sarutobi Hiruzen's heart sank. It seems that just as he thought, Nine Tails' consciousness escaped. With Nine Tails' combat experience, it can be explained by using Naruto's body to crush Chunin. Naruto on the other side was frantically making a series of fatal calls to Fengsu in his heart. Fengsu, what should I do now? Tell Grandpa third generation of your existence. Will we be regarded as monsters? We won't be sent to be dissected and sliced for study, right? Seeing Naruto's concern that he was not done playing, Fengsu interrupted him directly. It's okay. You can't hide this kind of thing anyway. Fengsu dared to say it openly, so naturally he had no intention of hiding it. After all, he will come out to control the body many times in the future. It would be too troublesome if I had to come up with an excuse every time. Besides, it's just multiple personalities, and Naruto is still the leader, it's not a big deal at all. As long as he shows enough value, it's not too late for Sarutobi Hiruzen to be happy. As for sending in anatomy for research, stop being ridiculous. Are you going to pay for ruining Jinchuriki's research? Just tell him our situation openly and there will be no problem. As soon as Fengsu finished speaking, he remembered what Hiruzen Sarutobi had just mentioned about mastering the power of Nine Tails. Then he added, by the way, remember to tell him that I can control a small part of Nine Tails' power. With that said, Fengsu used the blackening value to exchange for One Tail Chakra mode. Redeem successful. Blackening value 2000. Current blackening value 1400. The emotional fluctuation caused by the conversation between Naruto and Sarutobi Hiruzen just now earned 100 blackening points. So 3300 plus 100-2000 leaves 1400. With your words, I feel relieved. After receiving Fengsu's instructions, Naruto breathed a sigh of relief. Then he turned to Sarutobi Hiruzen and explained. After hearing Naruto's explanation, Sarutobi Hiruzen was stunned. Another you was born because of painful memories. It's very strong, and it has mastered a small part of Nine Tails' abilities, but it can't control its body. Sarutobi Hiruzen opened his mouth wider as he spoke. At the end of the sentence, the whole mouth opened directly into an O shape, and it looked like it could swallow a whole fist. After being surprised, Hiruzen Sarutobi asked again with a serious expression. Naruto, can you really take control of your body? Naruto nodded solemnly, yes, when he was outside before, I just thought about it and regained control of my body. This is too. Sarutobi Hiruzen was too good for a long time but nothing happened. But the excited expression on his face showed that he was in a good mood. Can Grandpa see him? By the way, let me show you the power of Nine Tails. Grandpa can also help you analyze whether there is any risk of losing control. Naruto nodded again. Then his whole expression changed. From warm and close to cold. First meeting, Mr. Sarutobi, I am Uzumaki Kazuru, Naruto's subpersonality. Fengsu naturally couldn't call Grandpa third generation or Lord Hokage. If it weren't for his current low strength, he wouldn't even want to call Mr. Sarutobi, he just wanted to call him old dog. Uzumaki Fengsu, it's a very good name. From now on, just like Naruto, you can call me Grandpa. Sarutobi Hiruzen made a close move, trying to close the distance. Fengsu was too lazy to argue with him, and he didn't need his concern. I didn't take this step and turned on One Tail Chakra mode directly. This is the power of Nine Tails that I have initially mastered, the kind of complete control. As he spoke, the light red chakra covered Fengsu's entire body. A thick and long reddish tail extends from between the legs. At the same time, a powerful aura of violence and evil filled the entire room. The moment Fengsu manifested the Nine Tails Chakra, in the 8 sign seal space on the abdomen at the navel, a narrow fox eye suddenly opened in the darkness. This familiar scent is my chakra. Nine Tails Fox's face was full of confusion. It obviously doesn't feel the loss of chakra? Could it be that I am a yin-type person? Because of the seal, Nine Tails cannot accurately feel the properties of chakra. When he was sealed by Minato, he was split into 2 halves. The yang half of it is here. The yin half entered Shinigami's belly together with Minato's soul. Someone released the yin-type meat. Nine Tails narrowed his narrow eyes and carefully sensed the chakra outside. So weak. Isn't the amount of chakra too small? Could it be that he was captured again after being released and is providing people with the same strength as I am now? Nine Tails feels that he must have guessed correctly. Otherwise, there wouldn't be so little chakra, and there would be no majesty of the tailed beast at all. What a waste. He escaped and was caught again. Originally, Nine Tails thought that it, with its yin attribute, could help save him. Now it seems that there is no chance at all. It is better to continue to sleep. Thinking like this, Nine Tails closed his eyes again. It's just that it never dreamed that this chakra is not of yin nature. It is a brand new Nine Tails created by the system. Outside, this palpitating feeling. It's indeed Nine Tails chakra. Okay. The greedy look on Sarutobi Hiruzen's face flashed away. Then everything was replaced by excitement and excitement. Although the power of Nine Tails is powerful, it must be controlled by a life. Reluctantly, I took one last look at the pale red chakra. Sarutobi Hiruzen waved his hand and shouted towards Fengxiu. Grandpa, I've seen enough, please put it away quickly. Fengxiu looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen with the eyes of a dead man. The latter took back the Nine Tails chakra expressionlessly. At the same time, he also gave back control of his body. In an instant, his expression and breath changed again. Naruto, with a proud expression and an air of familiarity, took control of the body. Grandpa third generation, what I said is right, Fengxiu is really powerful. Naruto looked proud. At the same time, system messages also sounded from Fengxiu's side. Current personality trust and dependence value 35%. Seeing Naruto's appearance, Sarutobi Hiruzen reminded him. It is indeed very powerful, but Naruto, you have to work hard. What the secondary personality can do, as the main personality, you can't fall too far behind. You have to keep pace with it. Although Fengxiu is now restrained by Naruto and has no initiative, but if the strength of the two is too huge, some variables are likely to occur. Naruto also nodded obediently, I'll do my best. And Fengxiu told me that these are the inherent potentials of my body. As long as I work hard, I will soon become as powerful as him. Hearing what Naruto said, Sarutobi Hiruzen felt relieved. Compared to Fengxiu, who was not interested in him, Naruto was more controllable. Okay, let's stop here today. Grandpa will be relieved to see that you are okay. After getting the information he wanted, Sarutobi Hiruzen did not intend to stay any longer. He stood up and took out the envelope he had prepared from his pocket. This is 2 months' living expenses. It is a gift from Grandpa to congratulate you on your graduation in advance. Thank you, Grandpa third generation. Naruto smiled happily after taking the envelope, which was obviously thicker than before. Looks like I can enjoy Ichiraku ramen this month. Sarutobi Hiruzen put on his Hokage hat and continued talking while walking outside. According to the rules of the village, if you graduate and become a genin, the village will no longer stop providing you with living expenses. For future living expenses, you will have to do tasks yourself to earn bounties. But don't be afraid. You genin will have a teacher who will lead the team and teach you step by step. Naruto became excited again when he heard that he could do tasks to earn bounties. The ninja life he longed for was finally coming. I understand, I will work hard to complete tasks and earn bounties. As long as you can understand, every village has its own difficulties. After sending away Sarutobi Hiruzen, Naruto eagerly opened the envelope in his hand. Lucky! There are really 2,000 taels. This much money is enough for me to eat 30 bowls of ramen. Naruto drooled at the thought of Ichiraku ramen with Naruto roll. He carefully took out the frog wallet Hinata gave him. After putting all the money in, Naruto relaxed and lay down on the bed. At the same time, I also remembered what Fengxiu said before about how to make money. Immediately he asked in his heart, Fengxiu, what is the method of making money you mentioned before? After hearing Naruto mention it, Fengxiu also remembered this matter. In the ninja world, money is still very important. Fengxiu also needs some money for emergencies, and he has some plans that also require financial support. After pondering for a moment, Fengxiu spoke. Get me some paper and pen, and then give me control of your body. I want to make money by writing novels. As a time traveler, of course it is easy to make money by being a copycat. Moreover, Fengxiu was a copywriter before he time traveled, and even time traveling happened when he died suddenly while writing a movie review. Write novels and make money. Can you write novels? Naruto's big eyes were full of disbelief. He hasn't read many books, how could Fengxiu write novels? Stop talking nonsense, you will know if it works or not after you try it. Fengxiu knew that Jiraiya was in a hot and intimate paradise. This shows that novels are marketable and popular in this world. Moreover, the novel he plans to copy is of the same genre as Making Love in Paradise, so it can be used to gain popularity. Seeing Fengxiu being so confident, Naruto immediately found paper and pen. He wanted to see what kind of story Fengxiu could write. He was also ready to laugh at Fengxiu loudly. After taking over control of his body, Fengxiu recalled the plot in his mind and wrote the title of the novel. Young Aben, cross out, young aiming. Chapter 1, Landlady. Ming's performance in the ninja school was not ideal, accompanied by the sound of pencil rubbing against paper. After almost 2 hours, Feng Su had written 10 chapters in 20,000 words. He did not continue writing later, but prepared to make up for it after finishing the manuscript. He stopped writing here, but Naruto, who was seeing the highlights, was not happy. Why don't you write it? Write it quickly. I want to see my cousin captured. I want to see a Ming. Even Naruto, the grandmaster of seduction technique, was fascinated by it, and Feng Su was very satisfied. We'll wait until the draft is finished tomorrow. After saying a few words, Feng Su took the initiative to give his body back. He planned to ask Naruto to find his daughter Iris tomorrow to help deliver the novel. After all, there were only a few people who were good to Naruto, and he had no choice. If Naruto were to deliver it himself, he probably wouldn't even be able to get through the gate. The next morning, in the classroom of the ninja school, Naruto was lying on the table listlessly with 2 big black circles under his eyes. Because the young man A Ming's follow-up was so alluring, he tossed and turned and couldn't sleep well last night. As for tossing and turning, of course it's the kind of tossing and turning where you think of yourself as the protagonist. It even brings the role of a gentle cousin into Sakura. When he thought of this, Naruto's face turned rosy again, and a crazy smile appeared on the corner of his mouth. As the sun rises, more and more students enter the classroom. Among them was Sasuke, who was seated behind Naruto. He passed by Naruto and caught a glimpse of Naruto's stupid look. He curled his lips and sneered disdainfully, "Idiot." Naruto, who is also an orphan in Konoha, is such an embarrassment to their orphans. When he heard someone scolding him, Naruto turned around and looked at him with an unkind expression. At a glance, he saw Sasuke's cold face behind him. Recall the scene in Young Ming. Naruto asked, looking at him steadily. "Who are you calling an idiot?" Seeing that Naruto didn't hear clearly and asked him, Sasuke continued to sarcastically speak. "Idiot is calling you, you idiot." Naruto nodded seriously when he heard this. "Yes, the idiot is scolding me." Sasuke's face instantly darkened. When did Naruto, the bastard, become so sharp-tongued? Obviously, he always gets angry at me and makes me lose my temper. A bastard who can only use his words. Idiot who can't speak clearly. Crackling. For a moment, the sights of Naruto and Sasuke seemed to be filled with lightning. Koji, who was watching the whole process, was smiling from ear to ear while eating potato chips. "Ha ha ha, Shikamaru, look at Naruto, he is so interesting today." This kind of war between top students and low-ranking students is very common, but often the top students win in the end. But today is different. Naruto, the guy at the bottom of the pile, actually quarreled with Sasuke, the top student, and had nothing to say. When Koji called out to Shikamaru, he held his head and leaned back helplessly. "Let's start again. Is Haruno Sakura with the big forehead so beautiful?" After shaking his head, he looked at Naruto with inquiring eyes. Besides, it's not certain who is the top student now. Shikamaru heard what happened last night from his father. Being able to kill a Chunin traitor, Naruto is not as weak as he appears. At least he wasn't sure he could kill a Chunin yet. It would be nice to be able to run away when you encounter one. Just when the atmosphere between Mingzuo and Mingzuo was getting tense, Sakura and Ino ran into the classroom from outside. The 2 women also looked tit for tat, shouting loudly that I entered the classroom before you. Behind them was Hinata, who looked timid. Hinata originally wanted to go up and try to break up the fight between the 2 girls, but when he saw Naruto confronting Sasuke in front of him, his face suddenly turned red. Without even bothering to break up the fight, he trotted back to his seat. After Sakura and Ino argued for a few words, they also saw Naruto and Sasuke confronting each other. The 2 women immediately stopped arguing and gathered around them. While praising Sasuke, he scolded Naruto. The result was that Naruto was angry, but Sasuke was even more angry. Coupled with the booing from other people, the classroom suddenly became noisy like a vegetable market. But the noise soon ended, because Iruka walked into the classroom with 2 unknown teachers. Chunin. "Okay, everyone, go back to your seats and start this year's Genin graduation exam immediately." Iruka looked around the entire classroom. When he looked at Naruto, his eyes were full of complexity. But in the end, I skipped it and didn't say anything with as much concern as before. Naruto also cheered up when he heard that the graduation exam was about to take place. It's finally his turn to show off. He has learned A-level ninjutsu that even Mr. Chunin can't do. "Sasuke, my grades today will definitely be higher than yours." Naruto couldn't help but turn his head and pretend to compete with Sasuke. But all he got in exchange was Sasuke's words, "Stop wishful thinking, idiot." But Sasuke had just finished speaking his disdainful words. Iruka's words from the front of the classroom slapped him in the face. The first one, Naruto, passed without taking the test because he defeated a Chunin. "Come up and get your Genin forehead protector." Iruka's words immediately set off 1,000 waves, causing the classroom below to explode. Crane Tail actually defeated Mr. Chinin. Quickly pinch me to see if I'm dreaming. It's impossible, it's all fake. Naruto must have bribed the teacher. There is a shady secret. We require Naruto to take a test. Sasuke also turned pale, his eyes filled with disbelief. Seeing that no one believed it, they even said there was a shady story. Naruto was so angry and anxious that he jumped on the table and went around frantically to explain. This behavior made Feng Su, who was in the consciousness space, unable to help but blush. He ordered in a stern voice, "Idiot, explanations are useless, just form a seal and cast multiple shadow clone to show them." Naruto also hit his head as if waking up from a dream. "Oh, yes, I was so anxious to forget it." As he spoke, he quickly formed a seal with his hands in front of him. Multiple shadow clone techniques, bang! In an instant, the entire classroom was filled with countless Narutos. Even Irika and the two teachers in front were squeezed into the corner. The other students were surrounded by Naruto from all directions and felt the smell of Naruto. "Naruto, you idiot, quickly cancel the multiple shadow clone, you have too many." In the corner, Irika, with blue veins bulging on his forehead, shouted loudly. But he saw that the faces of the two teachers next to him had turned black. Naruto also knew that he was in trouble and quickly removed the shadow clone. However, there was still a smug look on his face as he looked around at the classmates. "Ha ha, this is an A-level ninjutsu extra shadow clone technique. You don't know how to do it, right? But I will. Ha 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 ha." Naruto's expression was very unsatisfactory, but all the students endured it. No one mentioned the shady story or disbelief. To be honest, with that move just now, both of them would have been beaten to the ground by Naruto. After Naruto pretended to feel better physically and mentally, Feng Su also received a wave of blackening points. Blackening value plus 200, current blackening value 1600. After the farce was over, Naruto took the forehead protector and returned to his seat. The graduation exam also started again, allowing other students to return their attention to the exam. Except for Sasuke, who was lowering his head and gritting his teeth. A-level ninjutsu, multiple shadow clone, defeated Chunin. These words were like a sharp knife piercing Sasuke's heart. Plus Naruto would turn around and wink at him from time to time. So much so that his fists placed under the table were clenched and his nails dug deeply into his flesh. Even the expression on his face was more gloomy and gloomy. Even when it was his turn to take the exam, he made many mistakes. If Irika hadn't noticed that something was wrong with Sasuke, he would have given him a second chance. Maybe Sasuke will have to wait until next year to graduate. I am not afraid that Naruto will live a miserable life, but I am afraid that Naruto will drive a Land Rover. This sentence best describes Sasuke's current state of mind. With the completion of the graduation exam, the entrance to the ninja school became lively again. They were all parents who came to pick up their children and leave. Naruto originally planned to leave directly and not listen to these people cursing him, but Feng Su stopped him. "Tell him to use these curses to temper his heart so that he can master the power of 9 tails without losing control." Ever since, in order to master the power of 9 tails, he became the 5th Hokage. Naruto also risked his life and squeezed into the crowd with all his strength. He would go wherever there were people, listen to the parents saying bad things to him, and at the same time, he wanted to stay away from him. Then there was a funny scene in the ninja school. A large group of people were cursing Naruto while being chased around by him. Feng Su also once again raised a large amount of blackening value. Blackening value plus 600, current blackening value 2200. After being scolded, it was noon. According to Feng Su's plan, Naruto went home first to get the manuscript. After that, he took the money and went straight to a Chiraku ramen house. "Hey Naruto, hello lunch. Are you here for ramen?" He was banging the pot with a big spoon in his hand, with a very contagious laugh on his face. Naruto, who was infected by the hand-slapping smile, also brushed off the discomfort of being scolded and laughed. "Kaido, yes, I want a handmade uncle's luxurious signature ramen." Hearing that Naruto wanted the luxurious signature ramen, Eris behind him opened his eyes wide. "You actually want 100 taels of luxury ramen? Naruto, did you go out to pick up money today?" Naruto smiled and touched the back of his head, his face full of pride. "I got first place in the graduation exam today and finally became an official ninja." Hearing this, both Shandai and Changpyu were full of surprise. After that, I was sincerely happy for Naruto. "Congratulations, I finally graduated after repeating 2.5 years. I bought you this bowl of ramen today, as a graduation gift for you." Naruto automatically ignored the previous 2.5 years of repeating the grade, and accepted the offer of hand beating with a smile. "Thank you, Mr. Tejada, but I just need to replace all the other ingredients of the ramen with Naruto rolls." As a fan of Naruto rolls, Naruto wished that there were no noodles in the ramen and it was all Naruto rolls. "Don't forget to ask Calamus to help." Feng Su's voice suddenly sounded in Naruto's mind. Naruto's happy expression also froze, and he looked at Iris nervously. To be honest, he was really embarrassed to show this book written by Feng Su to Chang Pu. Seeing Naruto staring at her, Icarus touched his cheek with a questioning look. Is there something on my face? Naruto, what do you want to tell me? Saying that, Iris put the prepared ramen in front of Naruto. Smelling the aroma of the ramen in front of him, Naruto took a sip of saliva. In order to have money to eat every day, he finally made up his mind and handed the manuscript of the novel to Chang Pu. This is a novel I wrote, and I want Sister Changpu to help me deliver it. Novel. Calamus reached out and took the manuscript. There was also a hand behind her, who also curiously looked at the manuscript in Icarus' hand. Young A Ming? Is this a story you wrote based on yourself, Naruto? Icarus had a narrow smile on his face. No, it just happens that the names are the same. Naruto waved his hands repeatedly. But remembering what was written inside, Naruto looked at the two of them with pleading expressions on their faces. Can you please stop reading the contents, at least not for now? Seeing Naruto's troubled expression, Handa laughed and said, Okay, uncle, I won't watch. It's better to eat the noodles quickly. The noodles will become lumpy and won't taste good. Calamus pretended not to hear and hid in the kitchen. Naruto's expression made her so curious, she had to take a look first. Sister Calamus. Looking in the direction of the kitchen, Naruto seemed to have seen the laughter coming later. So he turned his grief and anger into appetite and sucked up the ramen in front of him fiercely. Slow down, you kid, what if you choke? Naruto was startled as he ate like a starved ghost reincarnated. He quickly filled a bowl of tonkotsu soup and handed it over, fearing that Naruto would choke. 10 minutes later, a large bowl of ramen was completely wiped out, including the soup and noodles. And Chang Pu, who had escaped into the kitchen, came out with a blush on his face. The content of 20,000 words in 10 chapters can be read in about 10 minutes. How about Iris? Can Naruto's writing be accepted by the publishing house? He didn't notice anything was wrong with his daughter. The blush was just due to the heat from these noodle cooking stoves. Well, it's not bad, it's pretty. Calamus glanced at Naruto with a shy expression, her voice getting smaller and smaller as she spoke. I just didn't expect Naruto to be able to write such a novel. No wonder he often sneaks into women's bathhouses and reads pornographic magazines in bookstores. Although the first point of view is that of a male, Iris felt that Naruto's plot was very attractive. He is worthy of being a frequent visitor in the women's bathhouse and a lover of the little emperor's uncle in the bookstore. Sneaking into the women's bathhouse? Reading erotic magazines? Does this have anything to do with the novel Naruto wrote? His face was full of doubts, wondering what the connection was between the two. Icarus wanted to say something more, but was decisively interrupted by Naruto. Sister Calamus, stop talking, let's leave quickly. If the manuscript is overdue, I will have to rush it in the afternoon. Icarus felt that what Naruto said was right, so he didn't say any more. After taking off the white apron and headscarf, he walked out of the store. After you finish writing, remember to show it to my sister for review. I can also help you check if there are any typos. The content of 20,000 words has already captured Chang Pu's heart. And Naruto also got his first book fan to follow up. I know, I promised to show it to Sister Changpu first. After receiving Naruto's agreement, Icarus set off towards another street with satisfaction. Shueisha Limited. Naruto didn't wait long when he saw Icarus walking out with a man with a flattering smile. Well, the novel was written by him, a boy you call a monster. What a monster! Don't talk nonsense. I never shouted. The man's flattering smile did not change, and he leaned in front of Naruto. Are you Uzumaki Naruto-sensei who wrote The Boy Akira? This is the first time we meet. My name is Hirohiko Kishimoto. It's an honor to serve as your editor. As a veteran editor, Kishimoto feels that this book about the young man A Ming can definitely compete with the popular intimacy paradise. So let alone Naruto being called a monster, even if Naruto is a monster, he is not afraid. Hello, Mr. Kishimoto. So my manuscript has passed, right? Kishimoto nodded and bowed in front of Naruto. That's it. Teacher, your work is really great. Let's go in and sign the contract as soon as possible. While respectfully pulling Naruto inside, Kishimoto did not forget to pat the rainbow fart. Teacher, it's such an honor for you to choose our publishing house. I can guarantee, teacher, that your book will be fully promoted by us, and it will definitely become a hit in the future, even surpassing the intimacy paradise. Listening to this kind of special compliment, Naruto felt a little carried away. Thanks. You also received messages from the system. Host personality trust dependence value 40% after signing the contract from Shueisha and thanking Iris. Naruto rushed home in a hurry. After laying the pen and paper that had been prepared on the table, Naruto began to call thanks you in his heart. Thanks you, the manuscript has been passed, and the 20,000 words will be serialized in the magazine first. After the word count reaches 100,000 words, the publisher will print a single book for sale. So let's write the rest of the story quickly. After being praised and promoted by Kishimoto Luahiko, Naruto now wants to write a 100,000 word book right away. But it's a pity that he couldn't write it and had to rely on Fengxiu. I have seen the process, there is no need to repeat it, but the brothers have settled their accounts. We need to talk about the income issue, talk about profits? Naruto was a little confused. Can't we all use the money we get? Fengxiu in the consciousness space sneered and said, I wrote the words and conceived the plot. You only gave your body and you want to share the proceeds equally? When Naruto thought about it, it seemed that this was really the case. Suddenly he said a little discouraged, okay, then how do you divide it? 9 points for me, 9 points for me and 1 point for you. Fengxiu said, 10% is enough for you to achieve the freedom of ramen, but you can't use the other 90%. Ah, I only have 10%? Naruto lowered his head and cried with a sad face, you don't come out often anyway, why do you need so much money? Fengxiu's cold voice continued to sound. You don't have to worry about it. Just say whether you agree or not. Seeing that Fengxiu had made up his mind, Naruto could only pinch his nose and say, I agree, you have the final say. Anyway, I just want the freedom of ramen. I don't know how to spend more. Host personality trust dependence value 38%. Fengxiu does not feel distressed even if the false high is reduced by 2%. Before reaching 80%, everything is just a castle in the air, so there is no need to care too much. Give me your body. One afternoon is enough to write the remaining 80,000 words, a base with elite Jonin's physical fitness. Fengxiu can write 7 to 8 words in 1 second. Coupled with the time for conception, 1 afternoon is just enough. Oh, Naruto immediately handed over control of his body. Then there was the rustling sound of pencil rubbing against paper. Time soon came to evening. As the last word fell, Fengxiu stopped writing and returned the control of his body. After writing all afternoon, to be honest, it really made him feel a little tired. Did you finish it so quickly? I haven't seen enough yet. After regaining control of his body, Naruto looked unsatisfied. Fengxiu ignored him, but closed his eyes and rested in his consciousness space. After packing up a thick pile of manuscripts, Naruto went out and walked towards Ichiraku Ramen. He was going to finish his dinner with Ichiraku Ramen. By the way, I will give the manuscript to Chang Pu for review. After all, this is what was promised at noon. The next day, Naruto woke up naturally from his sleep and came to the Hokage building. After passing the graduation exam, I got a ninja forehead protector. But you still need to take photos and register before you can officially become a genin of Konoha village. The time to register and take photos is only today. Tomorrow is the day when the new generation of genins will gather and divide into classes. Since it was only one day, there were many people taking photos and registering. But it didn't stop Naruto from spending 3 hours painting a big painted face on himself just like in the original plot. It is also known as the art of taking pictures. Naturally, he was scolded by Sarutobi Hiruzen and asked to reshoot. Then Konohamaru appeared and began to pester Naruto. What happens next is very different from the original work. Naruto taught Konohamaru the art of seduction and ninja, and formed a bond. He also used harem techniques to defeat Ebisu, who was wearing small sunglasses. In the evening, Fengxiu continued to control his body and write novels. Early in the morning, because he had to be divided into different classes, Naruto got up early and did not sleep until he woke up naturally. After arriving at the ninja school, he went straight to his seat. At this time, many people were already in the classroom, but the most eye-catching one is Sasuke, who looks depressed and has a gloomy face. Especially after seeing Naruto, the gloomy energy was about to overflow. Obviously, Sasuke still couldn't accept the fact that Naruto was better than him. You're a nuisance who only pretends to be cool. Naruto didn't understand Sasuke's expression and thought it was Sasuke pretending to be cold and cool again. Hearing Naruto's muttering, Sasuke's gloomy face turned dark instantly. However, he didn't make any sarcastic remarks as usual, he just put away his expression and turned his head. Seeing that Sasuke didn't mess with him, Naruto didn't tease him anymore. Instead, he was lying on the table thinking about class division. It would be great if I could be placed in the same class as Sakura. Even if I can't be placed in the same class, don't be in the same class as that annoying Sasuke. And now that I am no longer the last person but have become the number one, Sakura will probably start to like me. Just as he was talking, the real owner Sakura arrived. Watching Sakura walking towards him, Naruto put on a silly smile and thought that his dream had come true. Unfortunately, Sakura passed him and went straight to Sasuke, greeting him with greetings. Nasty Sasuke. What's so good about him that Sakura likes? Just as Naruto was about to find fault with Sasuke, he saw Irika walking in from outside. The noisy classroom also became quiet after Irika came in. From now on you will be your own ninja. After saying some educational words as usual, Irika picked up the list in his hand. The class list will be announced next. Team 7, Harano Sakura, Uzumaki Naruto and Sasuke. Team 8, Hayaga Hinata, Abarame Shino and Inyazuka Kiba. Class 10, Nara Shikamaru, Akimichi Koji, and Yamanaka Ino. Some people were happy, some were sad, and exclamations and wails kept ringing from below, just when Naruto announced the class division. On the other side, the Hokage office was bustling with activity. Dead Fish Eyes is holding a copy of Shounen Ming's Kakashi. Ui Korone looks stunning in a fishnet outfit. Asuma has a beard and a decadent air. The three of them were standing in front of Sarutobi Hiruzen's desk, looking at the crystal ball on the table. The crystal ball showed a picture of Naruto's classroom. As the classes were divided inside, Sarutobi Hiruzen also opened his mouth and said, "The 7th class is led by Kakashi, the 8th class is led by Ui Korone, and the 10th class is led by Asuma. Do you have any questions about this allocation?" The three of them looked at each other and shook their heads one after another. However, the three of them had no doubts, but a doubtful voice sounded outside. "They have no doubts, but I do. I don't agree with Kakashi leading Team 7. An old and cold voice came from outside the door. Shimura Danzo took his men, Kohara who had transferred to the dormitory, and Mito Manabu, and walked in from the door one after another. "I think the current Jinchuriki are too dangerous to be under Kakashi's custody. Now it should be left to our roots to control it in order to avoid situations that endanger the village." After saying that, he looked at the sleeping Koharu and Mito Manabu next to him. "Advisor Koharu, Advisor Yan, you probably still don't know what has happened to Jinchuriki, right? If I hadn't had someone who could use my roots, I would have been kept in the dark." Listening to Danzo's strange words, Mito Kaden and Koharu looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen inquiringly. Of course the two of them had no idea what had happened to Naruto. They were also invited by Danzo when they came today, saying that there was important matter concerning the village. However, they had heard about Naruto's theft of the sealed book the night before. Thinking of this, he moved to bed and Koharu asked first, "Hiruzen, is this related to the previous theft of the sealed book by Jinchuriki?" Mito Kadoyan also followed up and asked, "Did learning those forbidden skills cause problems with the seal on Jinchuriki?" The questions asked by the two people surprised Kakashi and the other three people waiting on the side. Problems with the nine-tail seal are a matter of life and death. If what happened 12 years ago happened again, the current Konoha village might not be able to survive at all. So the three of them all frowned and looked at Sarutobi Hiruzen, hoping to get an explanation. Facing the inquiring gazes of everyone, Sarutobi Hiruzen had a sullen expression and said nothing. Of course, he was not guilty of being exposed, but he felt that Danzo's hand was stretched a little too long now. It was clear that Umbu, who arranged to monitor Naruto, belonged to him, and he had also given an order to keep it secret. But now Danzo clearly knows something. It seems that Umbu, who is directly under him, needs to do some cleaning up. Seeing that Sarutobi Hiruzen didn't speak for a long time, Danzo took over the conversation with a cold snort. "Humph, if he doesn't tell me, then I will. There was a problem with Jinchuriki's seal the night before yesterday. It is suspected that Nine-Tails' consciousness took over Jinchuriki's body and tortured and killed Ichinen." Although Danzo's words were not loud, they were like a bell ringing in everyone's hearts. Among them, Koharu and Mito Manabu, who were transferred to the dormitory, had even more frightened faces. "What, is there really something wrong with the seal? Hiruzen, is Danzo telling the truth? Hiruzen, please say something." Seemingly having a headache due to the quarrel between the two, Sarutobi Hiruzen finally spoke to comfort him. "Kohara still has inflammation, please be patient. What Danzo said is just his speculation. In fact, there is no problem with Naruto's seal." Sarutobi Hiruzen turned to look at Danzo again, his eyes full of warning. "And you Danzo, Naruto is not yours to get involved with, you'd better put your little thoughts away." Danzo heard too much of this kind of harmless threat, and sneered and asked, "Don't change the subject, Hiruzen. What we are talking about now is the consciousness of Nine-Tails breaking through the seal. Do you need me to repeat to you what Jinchuriki said before killing Mizuki?" Hearing this, everyone's hearts tightened again. Since Danzo dared to say this, then things were definitely not as fine as Sarutobi Hiruzen said. Seeing that Danzo was determined to die on this point, Sarutobi Hiruzen decided to reveal Fengxiu's existence after some thought. "After all, you can hide it for a while, but you can't hide it forever. Anyway, Naruto is kissing him now, and he is not afraid of others taking away this big killer weapon. Maybe he can also use Fengxiu, who has mastered the power of Nine-Tails, to consolidate his power." This time, Danzo led two high-level advisors to force him into the palace, but it made him quite unhappy. Although he felt unhappy, Sarutobi Hiruzen still looked calm on the surface. "Actually, I have already prepared to explain Naruto's problem at next week's meeting. Since you came here specifically to ask today, I won't wait until next week to tell you directly. The consciousness that occupies Naruto's body is not Nine-Tails, but Naruto's subpersonality, named Uzumaki Fuguzu." Without giving everyone time to be shocked, Sarutobi Hiruzen dropped another blockbuster. "And this subpersonality named Uzumaki Fengxiu has also successfully mastered part of Nine-Tails' power. I saw with my own eyes that he controlled the chakra using 9 tails with his clear mind. And this subpersonality is completely under Naruto's control. Quiet two bomb-like news were released one after another, which directly stunned everyone present. Even Danzo didn't expect that the truth of the matter would be like this. However, he did not doubt that Sarutobi Hiruzen was lying. If he dared to lie about such a thing, then the Hokage of Sarutobi Hiruzen would be done with it. A subpersonality that has mastered the power of 9 tails, still controlled by Jinchuriki. Our Leaf Village has another trump card. The silence was broken by the excited voices of Koharu and Mito Kadobu, who moved to bed. For a village that is currently weak, having a powerful force like 9 tails at its disposal is like a shot in the arm. Hiruzen, that Jinchuriki subpersonality's methods are extremely cruel, and he doesn't look like a being who is content to be controlled at all. Perhaps those are all illusions he showed, and he is deceiving you. You can't believe it at all. So he should be handed over to our roots immediately for artificial restrictions and corrections. I promise, it won't be long before you get a powerful weapon that will never rebel. Danzo still refused to give up and wanted to get Naruto in his hands. After all, this is the controlled power of 9 tails. If it works for him, he can become the 5th Hokage next year. Sarutobi Hiruzen glanced at Danzo coldly, as if he had read through Danzo's inner thoughts. As for this personality, I will arrange for people to conduct close observation and testing, so I won't bother you. Seeing that Sarutobi Hiruzen wanted to kick him away, of course Danzo refused. He took a step forward and walked forward, looked directly into Sarutobi Hiruzen's eyes and said, "It's about the safety of Konoha. I can't stand by and watch. I request that the leader of Jinchuriki be replaced by a ninja from my base." Sarutobi Hiruzen also refused to give in, staring firmly at Danzo's one eye. "Duanzo, you don't need to interfere, I don't want to repeat it a second time. Also, don't forget, I am the Hokage." Hearing this sentence, "I am the Hokage," Danzo's anger level instantly filled up. This is what he said every time he was pressed, and he couldn't refute it. "Hiruzen, you will regret it." After uttering his customary closing words, Danzo angrily tossed his sleeves and turned to leave. Since he can't do it openly, he will do it secretly. He won't let 9 tails power go in vain. After Danzo left, Koharu and Mito Manabu moved to bed and did not stay any longer. They don't covet the power of Jinchuriki and 9 tails. I came here just to find out the situation of Jinchuriki. Seeing that everyone was gone, Sarutobi Hiruzen signaled Asuma and Ui Kurane to leave first, and he led Kakashi towards Naruto's apartment. He needed Kakashi to understand Naruto's current situation, and he also needed to explain something to Kakashi. In the classroom on the other side, Irika, who had finished dividing everyone into classes, put down the list in his hand and said, "The teacher leading the team will be here in the afternoon, please don't be late." "Okay, let's dismiss and go have lunch." When they heard the word disbanded, many people cheered and rushed out of the classroom. Sakura looked at Suzuki with a blush and extended an invitation to eat together. "Suzuki-kun, we will be companions from now on. Let's eat together and get to know each other." Suzuki didn't even look back or reply to Sakura's invitation. He climbed out directly from the window next to the classroom. Naruto on the side leaned forward with a smile on his face. "Sakura, if he doesn't go, I will go with you. We will be companions from now on. We need to get to know each other well." Sakura glanced at Naruto, and the blush and shyness on her face disappeared instantly. "Sorry, I have to go find Suzuki, you should eat alone." After saying that, without waiting for Naruto to answer, he hurried out of the classroom door. "Damn it, it's that annoying guy Suzuki again." Naruto, a little annoyed, also followed to the door. Unfortunately, there were too many people, and Sakura's back could no longer be seen. "Obviously I have surpassed him and become the number 1, why doesn't Sakura still like me?" Aside. Inyazuka Kiba saw this scene completely. With Akamaru on his head, he came to Naruto's side with a playful smile. "It's not because Naruto is frizzy and acts like an idiot. But it doesn't matter, I just like playing with idiots, so just come with us to have lunch." Although his relationship with Naruto is not as good as Shikamaru Koji, it is at least much better than others. Coupled with Naruto's sudden rise a few days ago, and his clumsiness. So he decided to get closer to Naruto and maybe do tasks together in the future. Behind Inyazuka Kiba, Hineda's face suddenly turned red when she heard him inviting Naruto. "If there wasn't a table next to me to support my body, I might not even be able to stand firmly." As for Abarame Shino, he stroked his sunglasses and muttered something in a low voice that no one could hear clearly. Except for Feng Su, who was watching all this in Naruto's consciousness. "Didn't the 3 of us in the team eat together to get to know each other? But I'm not opposed to inviting Naruto. It's up to you to decide. I also happen to want to make a new friend." He almost kept mumbling these words. Although Feng Su heard clearly, he was not interested in helping the little kid pass the message. Just thinking about Haruno Sakura, who had just faced Naruto and Suzuki, he suddenly had a plan. Since Naruto likes Haruno Sakura so much, if Haruno Sakura dies in his hands later, No, Haruno Sakura may not be enough. Maybe Irika can make contact again, and Sarutobi Hiruzen. Because of his lack of ability to protect him, the people he loved and were close to died tragically in his own hands. In addition, Fengxiu gave some hints and promotions with words. Presumably at that moment, the trust and dependence value of the protagonist will reach its peak, right? Of course, these tragic deaths must not be directly related to Fengxiu, and at that time, he had to find a way to conflict with Naruto, so that he could not come out to fight for him. It all adds up to all sorts of guilt, regret, and self-hatred, enough to break through all Naruto's defenses. However, it is still just a preliminary idea, and Fengxiu needs to carefully consider how to operate it later. Thinking of this, Fengxiu's voice sounded in Naruto's mind. Naruto, reject them. I have a way for you to have some intimate interactions with Haruno Sakura. Hearing the words echoing in his mind, Naruto's expression became happy at a speed visible to the naked eye. Seeing Naruto's happy look, Inyazuka Kiba thought Naruto had agreed to the invitation. He stepped forward and grabbed Naruto's shoulders and walked towards the door. Let's go, since Naruto is here, I'll treat you to a barbecue dinner. Even if I spend too much money and go home and get beaten by my mother, I'm not afraid. The Inyazuka family is also considered a prominent family in Konoha. He makes a living by breeding and selling high-quality ninja dogs, so he is quite wealthy. So it was just a barbecue meal. Naruto couldn't afford a month's living expenses, but Inyazuka Kiba could afford it. When he heard that he wanted to eat barbecue, Naruto's happy expression froze again. On one side is a barbecue feast that he has never had since childhood, and on the other side is his favorite Sakura. How should he choose? But when he thought of being in close contact with Sakura, he gritted his teeth and broke away from Inyazuka Kiba's arms. Sorry, I suddenly remembered something else. I'll treat you to ramen next time. After saying that, Naruto rushed out of the classroom as quickly as possible. I was afraid that I would regret it the next second and go have barbecue with them. Outside the second-floor balcony of a building somewhere, Sasuke was eating bread, frowning and thinking about Naruto. After his inquiries yesterday, he easily found out about the sealed book. Last night, he originally wanted to imitate Naruto and steal it to study. It's a pity that Umbu's people kicked him out before he even entered the door of Sarutobi's mansion. When he thought of this, Sasuke couldn't help but squeeze the bread in his hand. Eccentric Konoha, eccentric Hokage. The powerful ninjutsu would rather give a crane tail than give it to me. Is it just because I'm Uchiha, that bastard's younger brother? Sasuke, who was thinking about something, didn't realize that behind him, Naruto was holding the rope with a smirk. The next second, you annoying guy, just be patient and don't move. Naruto, it must be you. What are you going to do? You made a mistake, I am Shikamaru, not Naruto. Asshole, don't try to lie to me. I saw your orange clothes. You are wrong. Let me let you sleep for a while first. The sound disappeared, and Sasuke jumped out of the window with an evil smile. Dear Sakura, I'm coming. Afternoon, ninja classroom. Sasuke walked into the classroom, holding his still somewhat groggy head. This time, Sakura surprisingly did not come around, but sat on her seat with an angry face. Naruto on the side was carrying a big mountain-like bag on his head, with a silly smile on his face. Although it was strange, Sasuke ignored Sakura. Instead, he walked straight to Naruto. Naruto, you won today, but it will take a long time. I will catch up with you and avenge your shame. After saying that, without waiting for Naruto to reply, he turned around and found a seat to sit down. Well, Sasuke's sudden words interrupted Naruto's giggle. But at noon, he transformed into Sasuke and kissed Sakura. So Naruto is in a good mood now and is ready to apologize for knocking out Sasuke. Just as he was about to speak, he saw a man walking in outside the classroom, dressed like Shino. Class 7, all follow me. Why is it that the man who came in is dressed somewhat similar to Shino? Naturally, both of them were wearing clothes for their age, which covered most of their skin. The slight difference is that Shino is not wearing gloves and only has sunglasses on his face. The man who came in was wearing gloves and the upper half of his face was covered by a mask. In Naruto's consciousness, Fangsu had doubts and thoughts on his face. A Barame takes root? Isn't he a root ninja led by Danzo? Why is he here? Does he have thoughts about Naruto? Kakashi, the leading teacher in the original plot, did not come, but a Barame came to take root. Obviously, something has changed in the plot. Even though Sarutobi Hiruzen was not dead, Danzo and his roots actually showed up in advance. Outside. Are you our leading teacher? Seeing the man who came in opening his mouth to follow him, Naruto tilted his head and asked a question. Idiot, it must be the teacher leading the team. Sakura, who had already stood up and walked out obediently, hit Naruto on the head with a violent kick. If we weren't the leading teacher, how would we know we were in class 7 and in this position? What a disgusting orphan who doesn't know how to observe, only knows how to lie, and lacks parental discipline. Obviously, Sakura is still upset about what happened at noon. However, she didn't dare to tell her about losing her first kiss in front of Suzuki, so she could only get angry at Naruto. Naruto didn't care much about Sakura's harsh words. He just held his head and shouted that it hurt, with an apologetic smile on his face. After all, compared to the vicious curses of the villagers, Sakura's words were as weak as playing house. Naruto didn't care what Sakura said, but it hit Suzuki's pain point. You must know that he is also an orphan without parents now. Seeing that Naruto didn't refute Sakura's words, he still had a silly smile on his face. Suzuki stood up and came to the front of the two people, and a cold voice came out of his mouth. No one wants to be an orphan, no one wants to be without parents to discipline them, and no one wants to be hated by others. You don't understand the kind of loneliness where you are alone at home and no one can tell you what you can and cannot do, and you will just easily scold the uneducated and annoying orphan because of his mistakes. Having said this, Suzuki looked at Sakura with a piercing coldness in his eyes. You really make me feel sick. Makes me feel sick, makes me feel sick, makes me feel sick. Suzuki's words echoed in Sakura's mind, and she petrified in place like a sculpture. Naruto looked at Suzuki with a moved expression. It turns out that Suzuki is just like him, he understands his daily mood and the feeling of loneliness. When he looked at Suzuki's handsome face, he suddenly felt less annoying. And you still like it? Hastily throw away the scary thoughts in your mind. Naruto quickly turned his head away and stopped looking at Suzuki, fearing that he would bend in the next second. I am your leader, Abarame. Abarame, who stood at the door and witnessed the love triangle process, stopped watching the show. He didn't know when Kakashi would come, so he said immediately after announcing his home address. So stop talking nonsense and come with me now, immediately, immediately. Without giving Naruto and the other three a chance to refuse, Abarame turned around and walked outside. Suzuki frowned in confusion at the impatience of the teacher in front of him, but he didn't say much and followed quickly. When Naruto saw this, he pulled Sakura, who looked hopeless, and chased after her. But as soon as the three of them walked out of the school, they heard the swishing sounds of the rooms in the surrounding bush building, as well as the clanging sounds of hitting. This is an offensive and defensive drill between Umbu, an exercise used to ensure that the village is not invaded by foreign enemy spies. As soon as the doubts and wariness of the three people arose, they were dispelled by Abarame's explanation. Although it is a bit far away, it is not very clear. But those who fought did wear Umbu's mask. You should walk faster so as not to interfere with their drill. Using this excuse, Abarame took the route and ran with the three of them. As the roads become narrower and narrower, the population becomes less and less dense. Abarame and Naruto gradually approached the forest of death. Naruto, be careful. This Abarame has problems with his roots. Don't follow him into the forest of death. There is a root base in the death forest, a territory belonging to the root. A gentleman would not stand under a dangerous wall, and Feng Su did not want to be in such a dangerous place, so he directly warned Naruto not to go in. Has a problem. Naruto was shocked, and his steps suddenly stopped. He also felt that something was wrong more or less, and thought it was an illusion. But now Feng Su can't say it's wrong, so it's definitely not his illusion. We're almost there, why did you stop? Seeing Naruto stop, Abarame immediately stopped taking the route, then turned back a few steps and came to Naruto's side. Naruto took a few steps back again, moving away from the approaching Abarame, with a guarded look on his face. Why did you bring us into the forest of death? Naruto, what are you doing? Why did you stop and retreat suddenly? Teacher Gagan said we'll be there soon, so don't lose your temper. Sakura, who was worried all the way, didn't notice anything was wrong. She just wanted to get somewhere quickly and end the day quickly so she could go home and cry on her pillow. Idiot, didn't you find anything wrong? Naruto didn't say anything, but Suzuki came to Naruto's side in a flash, with the same guarded look on his face. On the first day we got along, they took us to a dangerous place like the Forest of Death, and they didn't say why. I passed several training grounds on the way. They could be used for first training or meetings, but I didn't even look at them. You also said that Naruto doesn't know how to observe. I think you lack the qualities to be a ninja. Suzuki, who already had a bad feeling for Sakura, showed no emotion in his words. Why are you still dazing there? Come here quickly. Sakura, who was scolded, looked aggrieved, and quickly came to the two of them. Seeing that his purpose was discovered, Abarame was too lazy to continue pretending. Just two Quasi-Genin, plus a Jinchuriki who can use a little bit of Nine Tails power. He was an elite Jonin, and with the means given by Danzo, he didn't need much effort to deal with a few people. He moved his limbs wantonly and said in a cold tone, "Why do you think you are so smart? Why don't you just follow me honestly? If it's like this, I can only ask you to suffer some hardships." Speaking of suffering, Abarame had already arrived in front of the three of them. With just one kick, Suzuki on the left was kicked in the stomach and flew backwards, spitting out acidic water. Then there was another palm, and Sakura on the right was hit on the forehead, her eyes rolled back and she fell to the ground. He is not the Kakashi who taught the three people in the original plot. He used all his strength to attack, killing the two people except Naruto in an instant. Sakura, Sasuke. Looking at Sasuke, who could only barely raise his head on the ground, and Sakura, who was unconscious, Naruto's eyes were about to burst, and the angry murderous intent burst out from his eyes. Asshole, you dare to hurt them, I will fight with you. Multiple shadow clone techniques. A few ninja seals were formed. Hundreds of Naruto suddenly appeared and surrounded Abarame. This amount of chakra is exactly what the intelligence said. Abarame Taijin did not panic at all, but looked at many Narutos with interest. Naruto also had no intention of saying harsh words, and directly swarmed up and completely buried Abarame with his roots. But the next second, bang, bang, bang. One after another, Naruto continued to turn into air and disappear. The buried Abarame took the root with a kunao, a sword and a shadow clone in his hand. It wasn't until the last time that Naruto took the kunao back to the side of his leg. He just held Naruto's head with one hand and held him in front of him. From the beginning to the end, it only took less than 1 minute to subdue the three Abarame. This is the strength of elite Jonin and the top power of a village. Asshole, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to kill you. Naruto was caught, waving his hands and feet with his teeth and claws. But as he only knows multiple shadow clone, he can't touch the Abarame root in front of him. Looking at Naruto, whose mood was fluctuating violently, Abarame suddenly remembered something. As his expression changed, he hurriedly raised his other hand. Is he going to come out? No, I have to take action quickly, otherwise. Muttering in his mouth, Abarame took the root of his palm and curled his claws in the air. A blue chakra lit up on each finger. With these chakra, he slapped his 5 fingers heavily on the 8-sign seal on Naruto's abdomen. 5 elements seal. This is the method Danzo gave him to strengthen the seal and cut off the 9 tails chakra. Otherwise, he really has no confidence that he can bring back Naruto, who can use the power of 9 tails in a short time. The pain in his abdomen made Naruto cry out in pain. But Abarame's muttering reminded him of Fangsu. Suddenly, I began to cry out urgently in my heart. Fangsu, come out quickly, I've been caught again. He also injured Sasuke and knocked Sakura unconscious. Come out and beat him to death, just like when you beat Mizuki to death. Facing Naruto's call for help, Fangsu in his consciousness did not answer. Look at the black value that keeps beating on the system panel. He looked expectantly at Abarame's root outside. If that's not enough, give me some more force. If you, an elite Jonin, are worse than Mizuki, I will look down on you. What Abarame took the root to strengthen was Naruto's 9-tail seal. What does it have to do with his Fangsu 9 tails? When he comes out, elite Jonin Taijutsu plus 1-tail chakra mode will still crush him. Outside, Abarame looked at the 5-element seal mark emerging from Naruto's abdomen and finally felt relieved. The look he looked at Naruto was no longer cautious. Your secondary personality hasn't appeared until now. It seems that you don't dare to show up without the power of 9 tails. Originally, I wanted to experience it, but now it seems that it is nothing more than this. My expectations were in vain. Abarame shook his head and took out a rope to tie Naruto up. Then he brought the tied Naruto to Sasuke, who was still vomiting stomach acid, and tied him up too. As for Sakura, who fell to the ground, he just kicked her into the forest beside the road. Sasuke is the posthumous son of the Uchiha clan and a hostage against Uchiha Itachi. He is as useful as Naruto. And Sakura is just a commoner, completely useless to the roots. Abarame took her with him before taking the root just to paralyze Naruto and Sasuke. Sakura. Seeing Sakura being kicked away like a rag, Naruto's eyes were a little bloodshot. The look in Abarame's eyes that looked back at him was filled with brutal murderous intent. This time Naruto didn't need to ask in his mind, the system sent a prompt. The main personality's emotion reaches the critical value. Do you want to switch personalities? Fangsu did not switch immediately, but looked at the blackening value. Current blackening value 5000. It's not bad. It's increased by 2800, which is no worse than Shuemu. Fangsu feels that this kind of sudden plot that is separated from the original plot can be repeated several times in the future. It would be best if he could quickly redeem half of 9 tails to reach the elite shadow level. Exchange Jonin Taijutsu, Abarame root, -500, current blackening value, 4500. Conveniently, he used the blackening value to exchange for Abarame's root removing Jonin body surgery. Fangsu then said to the system, switch personalities, outside world. Abarame was preparing to leave with Naruto and Sasuke on his left and right, and his expression suddenly changed. The next second, his figure disappeared from the spot and appeared a few meters away. As expected of elite Jonin, your response is quick enough. At the place where Abarame took the root and disappeared, the wind that controlled the body landed safely. By the way, he also caught Sasuke, who was tied up. Naruto, no, you are not Naruto. Naruto became Fangsu, and Sasuke felt it clearly. The original feeling of kindness and purity that wanted people to get close disappeared. Naruto now only gave him a kind of tearing indifference and terror. "I am Naruto," Fengxiu grinned, revealing a big smile that made Suzuki very uneasy. Then he cut the rope binding Suzuki with a strike of his sword and threw him towards the forest where Sakura fell. Looking at Fengxiu's movements, Abarame took root and did not make a sneak attack. He asked cautiously, "Whirlpool Fengxiu? Uzumaki Naruto's sub-personality?" Fengxiu turned to look at him, and the smile on his lips became even brighter. "Bingo, that's the right answer. As a reward, I'll let you get close to the Nine Tails chakra that you miss so much." The moment he finished speaking, the light red chakra poured out freely. In an instant, it covered Fengxiu's whole body. A long light red chakra foxtail extends from the back, flying freely in the air. The violent evil aura also swept out. Terrifying momentum and coercion filled the world. Nine Tails chakra, impossible. I have clearly strengthened the seal to prevent chakra from leaking. Abarame's face was full of disbelief, and he looked at Fengxiu as if he were looking at a monster. "Oh, why didn't I know I was sealed?" A cold voice, wrapped in a heart-stopping evil aura, appeared behind Abarame. "So fast." Abarame was shocked. Naruto, who was originally standing in front, was now only a slowly dissipating afterimage. Whoosh! At the same time, the harsh whistling sound of sharp objects cutting through the air also sounded behind him. No time to dodge. Abarame could only pull out the kunai from the outside of his legs, turned around and crossed it in front of his chest. However, click! The sound of an object breaking came from Abarame's body. Abarame was seen blocking the kunai in front of him, and was pressed close to his chest by the huge light red tail. A little blood spilled from his mouth and nose. He was injured in just one initial blow. Abarame didn't hesitate to take the route. He quickly retreated before Fengxiu made another move. At the same time, the eyes looking at Fengxiu were even more frightened and fearful. "No, you are not a sub-personality at all. You are the Nine Tails from 12 years ago." Abarame's shout was so loud that Suzuki, who was checking Sakura's injuries from a distance, heard clearly. Nine Tails broke the seal. That Naruto just now was actually the consciousness of Nine Tails. Suzuki's face was also full of shock, but there was a trace of happiness in his eyes. If Naruto, who had multiple shadow clone before, could catch up with just a little effort, now, Naruto, who is like a demon with Abarame's root pressed in front of him, is the existence he needs to look up to. So he was a little lucky that such a powerful Naruto was not Naruto himself. It's the Nine Tails inside Naruto. Thinking of this, Suzuki even unconsciously smiled. "Well, it hurts." After Suzuki briefly treated her injuries, Sakura woke up at this time. He opened his eyes to see Suzuki with a smile on his face. Suddenly he seemed to think of something and shouted in surprise. "Suzuki, did you save me? What happened to the enemy disguised as a teacher?" Hearing Sakura's voice, Suzuki immediately put away his smile. "Shh, don't yell." Suzuki raised his finger in front of his mouth to make a silencing gesture and then pointed forward. "I didn't save you, it was Naruto who saved us." Looking in the direction of Suzuki's finger, Sakura also saw a scene that made her unbelievable. Abarame, who had just killed her with one blow, was now injured in dodging Naruto's attack. There is also Naruto, who was not as optimistic and heartless as before. Although he still had a smile on his face, there was no warmth in his eyes, only coldness and cruelty. The evil, ominous and terrifying aura of disaster emitted by the red chakra made Sakura's back feel cold and her heart panicked. That's Naruto. What's wrong with him? Why is he so powerful, so scary? If this was Naruto who cheated on his first kiss this afternoon, Sakura didn't dare to hit Naruto until his head was full of bruises, nor did she dare to resist. And inexplicably, Sakura feels that this scary Naruto is somewhat handsome and charming. As soon as this thought appeared, Sakura quickly shook it out of her mind. Maybe it's because he's as indifferent as Suzuki. Yes, that's definitely the case. "What did you say?" Suzuki frowned and looked back, wondering what Sakura was so crazy about. "No, it's nothing. Look over there, Naruto is moving again." Sakura, who had spilled the beans, quickly turned her attention to the battlefield ahead. Suzuki didn't pay attention anymore and quickly fixed his gaze forward again. Ahead. Fengxiu heard someone call him Nine Tails again, and he picked his ears speechlessly. "It's really boring, can't you say it differently? For example, I am the fourth Hokage, or the consciousness of the previous Jinchuriki." Hearing what Fengxiu said, Abarame was stunned for a moment. It's true that he had some preconceptions. Maybe the personality in front of me is really the chakra left by Minato or Kushina. The reason is to protect their only descendant, Naruto. However, as soon as he thought about this conjecture, he felt that it was full of loopholes. How could the people in front of me who only use Taijutsu and Nine Tails chakra be those two? If it were really those two, he should be facing the Flying Thunder God Reiznan now, or the sealing techniques of the Whirlpool clan. Damn Nine Tails Demon Fox, you are so cunning, I almost got deceived by you. You talked to me so much during the battle, but you didn't directly kill me. That means that the power you can use now, as you show, is chakra with only one tail. So you are bluffing and stalling for time until the Hokage is directly under Umbu's support. The more Abarame talks about it, the more he feels that his analysis is correct. The panic on his face slowly calmed down and he regained his composure. Thinking about it carefully, he was injured just now because of Feng Su's sneak attack, and because he was frightened by the Nine Tails chakra, he only used taijutsu against Feng Su and did not use ninjutsu at all. He is not a taijutsu ninja, but his strength is above ninjutsu. Am I stalling for time? Abarame's words made Feng Su laugh out loud. How dare someone who was injured by him with just one blow dare to underestimate him? You are very confident, but I don't know how long your strength will keep you confident. The moment he finished speaking, the ground beneath Feng Su's feet suddenly cracked. The next second, he appeared in front of Abarame Nori again, with his tail slashing down behind him, and Abarame had already prepared for taking root. I saw him biting the glove with his mouth and taking it off, revealing the palm with bright purple skin inside. Then two palms flew towards the chopped fox tail. Sizzle! The moment the fox tail touched the palm, there was a sizzling sound. The light red was instantly climbed up by the purple, forming a purple Madara. Phosphorus, the nanoscale poisonous insect I cultivated, is also the ninjutsu I am proud of. How do you feel? Abarame's expression was calm, but his words were filled with pride. As Danzo's most capable right-hand man, his ninjutsu would give any ninja with cage-level strength a headache. If you accidentally touch it, your skin will peel off even if you die. No, they're just bugs that can be easily crushed to death. Feng Su sneered, and drew back his light red fox tail. The purple Madara above also disappears at a speed visible to the naked eye. He is not Naruto who borrowed the power of nine tails, this is his own chakra without any barriers. When covering his whole body, he is like nine tails, equivalent to a ball of chakra polymer. As long as the chakra is not exhausted, even if he were soaked in these phosphorus bugs, nothing would happen to him. All I can say is that Abarame was unlucky enough to run into him. If it were an elite jonin, Feng Su might really have to fight hard. I hope you won't blame me for destroying Jinchuriki in the future. Abarame raised his hands in front of his mouth with cold eyes and puffed his cheeks. Secret technique, poisonous dust technique. The bulging cheeks blow out a lot of air. In an instant, a purple mist separated from his palm and wrapped around Feng Su in front of him. Feng Su did not dodge or dodge, and even took the initiative to enter the purple poisonous mist. You're really looking for death. Abarame Tijin's eyes became fierce when he saw this, and he blew out more poisonous mist again. Only half a minute passed. In addition to being wrapped in a layer of purple, Feng Su could still move around with a smile on his face. That's it. Feng Su shook his head in disappointment. Abarame's face also looked ferocious, and he continued to blow out poisonous mist. Impossible. Even if there is a chakra barrier, my poisonous insects will penetrate deep into it and enter the skin and bones. What on earth did you do? Why aren't you dead yet? The poisonous insect he is good at has no effect at all. Abarame was so proud just now when he took the root, but now he is ashamed and angry. I'm not dead, but you are. Feng Su, who was pacing in the poisonous mist, had already stood in front of Abarame when he was distracted by his words. Then he raised his hand and grabbed his arm. At the same time, the nine tails chakra on the surface also extended a hand, grabbed his neck and lifted it into the air. Asshole! The moment he was held by Naruto, Abarame reacted and wanted to pull away. But the palm holding him was like an iron pincer, making it impossible for him to break free. So much so that now that he is being grabbed by the neck and lifted up, life or death is not up to him. After Feng Su used nine tails chakra to disperse the poisonous mist around him, he raised the Abarame root in front of his eyes and asked indifferently, "Tell me, who sent you to deceive us? If you tell me the truth, I might spare your life." Although he knew that the person behind the scenes was Danzo, Feng Su still pretended to ask, "Hey, didn't school teach you the ninja code?" Abarame's face was full of disdain, and he had no intention of being caught and made a prisoner. "Come if you have any means, but I advise you to hurry up, otherwise you won't have a chance when someone comes later." As Danzo's right-hand man, Abarame is not worried about being in danger if he is caught. But the danger is that there is no danger, but it will leave excuses for Sarutobi Hiruzen and rectification. Moreover, he failed the mission and was caught, so he had no face to face Danzo. So now he wants to kill him to avoid causing trouble to Danzo later. After death, the tongue-eradicating mark on his tongue will also destroy his head, leaving no clues. You have a backbone. I like your toughness. As he spoke, the chakra fox tail behind Feng Su suddenly stabbed out and penetrated Abarame's wrist. Aha! A painful groan sounded, and Abarame stared at Feng Su coldly, with a provocative smile on his lips. Feng Su was not merciless and controlled the foxtail to thrust out 3 more times. There were big bloody holes in the joints of Abarame's hands and feet. If this kind of injury is not treated with medical ninjutsu to stop the bleeding in time, his hands and feet will be useless in the future. Obviously, Abarame understands his current situation. His face suddenly turned pale, and his eyes were full of despair. Even the shouting in his mouth stopped, like a numb corpse at his mercy. Feng Xiu didn't stop because of Abarame's expression. Instead, he became interested and kept poking bloody holes in his body with his fox tail. In consciousness, Naruto's anger was almost gone now. Feng Xiu's side also lost the reminder of the increase in blackening value. Current blackening value 4,800. Looking at Abarame's miserable appearance outside, Naruto felt both admiration and sympathy. Feng Xiu, he's already like this and has received the punishment he deserves. How about we let him go? After all, Naruto is not Feng Xiu's darkened personality dominated by painful memories. Therefore, the hostility is not that great, and even the enemies are treated with compassion. Are you interceding for your enemy? Feng Xiu frowned, and his mind flashed through the scenes in the original plot where Naruto forgave and understood his enemies again and again. Inexplicably, he felt a little nauseous. He seemed to feel the suppressed anger in Feng Xiu's tone. Naruto quickly replied, No, it's just that I don't think his crime warrants death. It's enough to receive the punishment he deserves. Besides, he's not the culprit. He's just a ninja who followed orders. He gave up his life with all his strength in order to complete the mission, and he didn't betray him even though he was being tortured. He's kind of cool. I don't want you to turn into a cold-blooded murderer, so I'd better hand him over to the village. With that said, Naruto brought out Feng Xiu's previous promise. And you also promised me that you won't use my body to kill people. Leave him to the village. Feng Xiu laughed a little angrily. He could imagine what would happen. As soon as this place was handed over to the village, Danzo, the backup man, paid a price to take the people away. Was he fighting life and death just to benefit Sarutobi Hiruzen? You don't recognize his outfit, do you? He is a ninja of Konoha. Do you expect the village to punish him? Naruto nodded. I believe in the village and Grandpa third generation. F***ku. Being immersed in the situation, nameless anger filled my heart. Feng Xiu, who cursed angrily, stopped talking nonsense. The pale red fox tail pointed directly at Abarame's throat. Danzo will definitely be an enemy in the future, and he has no habit of letting the tiger go back to the mountain. You bastard, stop it. Heart-turning technique. When Feng Xiu took action, roars came from the forest of death. At the same time, there were a bunch of kunao shurikens and a weird spiritual energy flying out. Unfortunately, it was of no use, as the hidden weapon was blocked by the tailed beast's coat formed by the Nine Tails chakra. The mental energy was easily dodged by Feng Xiu as he tilted his head. Abarame's throat was successfully penetrated. His eyes lost their luster at a speed visible to the naked eye, and his hands and feet drooped weakly. Naruto also reacted from the shock of being scolded. Screamed in consciousness. Feng Xiu, kill him, you murderer, I don't want to give you my body. I hate you. Get out of here and give me my body back. Host personality trust dependence value 10%. A huge suction force suddenly occurred, and Feng Xiu's consciousness was on the verge of collapse. He resisted vigorously and reluctantly turned his head and left a word behind him. Theatergoers, my time has come. The moment he finished speaking, Nine Tails chakra suddenly disappeared without a trace. The lifted Abarame fell to the ground from mid-air. Only Naruto was left standing there, his face full of grief and regret. Sad Feng Xiu's cold-bloodedness and cruelty. I regretted that I didn't take control of my body earlier. Tisk, so you discovered me a long time ago. As expected of a personality that has mastered the power of Nine Tails, it is truly amazing. The white-haired fisheye wearing a mask jumped down from the tree and stood in front of Naruto. There is also a book called Young A Ming in his hand. Even when he was talking, his eyes were still staring at the content of the book. Hey take Kakashi. The people in the Forest of Death also showed their faces. It is Yamanaka Feng who is also Danzo's right-hand man. Behind him were a group of masked root ninjas. That's all for today. You can take the body back by yourself. Kakashi closed the book in his hand and looked up at the people in front of him, with warning in his eyes. Otherwise I wouldn't mind letting you lie down a few more times. Yamanaka Feng, who knew Kakashi's strength well, did not say harsh words. He waved someone to lift Abarame's body, turned around and left. Behind, Sakura Suzuki also stepped forward to join Naruto. After the three of them whispered for a few words, they looked at Kakashi warily. It's really troublesome. Kakashi breathed out, and the dead fish's eyes were full of helplessness. No one knew that Danzo's hands were so fast and he was so courageous. Just after the quarrel in the morning, they started kidnapping people at noon. But being able to see Naruto's subpersonality take action, Kakashi felt it was quite worthwhile. Sure enough, just like the information, Naruto would come out to fight if he was in danger. Although his methods are very ruthless, his personality is also quite perverse. But it is a very good protective barrier. All I can say is that he is worthy of being the son of Teacher Minato, and he is born to be different from ordinary people. As for whether this personality is the consciousness of Nine Tails, Kakashi had just used Sharingan to peek at it, and Nine Tails was still safely inside the seal. She even glared at him for peeping. "Don't look at me like that, I'm your leading teacher, Heite Kakashi. I know you don't believe it. Come with me now and I will take you to see Irika. Because there are lessons learned from Abarame's roots." Naturally, the three of them, Kakashi and Nara Sasakura, couldn't completely believe Kakashi, who claimed to be the leader of the team. Kakashi also understood, so he took the three of them along the road with people. Soon he returned to the ninja school. The anxious Irika breathed a sigh of relief and felt relieved after seeing the three people safe and sound. After further explanations to the three of them, they finally recognized Kakashi as the real leader. "Just because you recognize me doesn't mean that I recognize you." Kakashi opened the young man a Ming again and said while flipping through it, "Although you have done quite well before and were not fooled into your lair by false teachers, but if you want to be led by me and grow into a qualified ninja, you still need to accept some assessments." Accept the assessment. Sakura's face was full of confusion. She also turned to look at Naruto and Sasuke beside her. She hoped to see the two of them having the same doubts as her. It's a pity that Sasuke lowered his head and didn't know what he was thinking, while Naruto stared at the sky in a daze, with some regret on his face from time to time. Apparently he hasn't gotten over the previous incident of Abarame taking his roots. So she had no choice but to ask herself, "We have obviously graduated successfully. Does that still count as passing the assessment?" Kakashi glanced approvingly at Sakura, who answered his words, and then said, "That's just the school's graduation assessment for you. I'm talking about your genin assessment. Anyway, if you can't pass, then you have no choice but to go back home and go to ninja school again." Speaking of this, a trace of evil intentions flashed across Kakashi's face. By the way, a warm reminder. Among the 27 graduates this time, only 9 will be recognized as genin, and the elimination rate is 70% this time. Even Sasuke and Naruto, who didn't listen much, were a little frightened. Everyone paid attention. They don't want to go back to school and repeat another year. Well, specifically, tomorrow we need to carry out a mission called a wilderness survival exercise. And in this exercise mission, your opponent is me. As he spoke, Kakashi also showed a scary face. Seeing that the three people didn't react much, Kakashi retracted his expression with some disappointment. "It seems that the incident with the fake team leader just now has a big impact on you. In this case, let's forget about the self-introduction part. I guess you have gotten to know each other quite well before. Then disband now and see you at the training ground tomorrow morning." Kakashi stood up and planned to leave. But something suddenly occurred to him and he added something. "Remember not to eat breakfast, otherwise you will feel uncomfortable vomiting, and don't blame me. Well, everyone, see you tomorrow." After the explanation, Kakashi disappeared from the place in a flash. "I'm going back first, see you tomorrow." After Kakashi left, Naruto, who looked a little gloomy, also stood up and left. Naruto. Looking at Naruto walking away, worry appeared on Sakura's face. At the same time, he turned to look at Sasuke and Naruto. There seems to be something wrong with him. He was a little too silent just now, not like him at all. Sasuke naturally discovered Naruto's problem, but he seemed to have guessed something. His lips moved and he finally didn't intend to share it with Sakura, but said coldly, "Naruto is stronger than you think. Rather than worrying about this, you should worry about yourself. With the level of ninja you have shown so far, it's best to think about how to avoid being eliminated." After saying that, he ignored Sakura, put his hands in his pockets and jumped directly to the roof of the opposite building, and shuttled away. Sakura. Lies won't hurt, the truth is the sharpest knife. Sakura also quickly withdrew her concern and walked towards home in distress. After returning home, Naruto lay on the bed in a daze. Feeling the empty home and the quiet mind, he got up and opened the window with some boredom. Nightlight shone through the window and illuminated the half-written manuscript on the table. Recalling every bit of the previous events, Naruto felt a little regretful. Ever since Feng Xiu appeared, he has been very kind to him. Not only did she chat with him, help him make money, protect him when he was in danger, but also helped him pick up Sakura. But today, for an enemy with malicious intentions, he spoke harshly to Feng Xiu and said he hated Feng Xiu. Thinking about it now, Naruto felt that he was a little ungrateful. But when Naruto thought that Feng Xiu didn't listen to him and insisted on killing Abarame to get the root, the feeling that seemed like anger, but not anger, and mixed with some panic came over me again. In short, it was the kind of emotion that made Feng Xiu feel uncomfortable and wanted to vent if he didn't do as he was told. "Do you want to apologize to Feng Xiu? After all, Feng Xiu is so good to me, just like an older brother who protects his younger brother." Naruto looked at the night scene outside the window with a troubled expression. "But he killed someone again, and he did it despite my repeated prohibitions, and he was very cruel. If this continues, will he hurt my friends and Sakura in the future? It's only right that he apologizes, and it's been so long, and you haven't explained to me or spoken to me." "What do you mean?" With hesitation, Naruto sat at the table with his head in distress. Host personality trust dependence value 20% in his consciousness. Feng Su saw the system prompts and raised a smile on his lips. Afterwards, he simply disappeared without saying a word or explaining his behavior. The purpose was to make Naruto, who was accustomed to his presence, aware of the discomfort after losing him. Obviously, Feng Su succeeded, and Naruto fell in love with him. Although it suddenly dropped by 30% to only 10%, Feng Su lost his vision and voice from the outside world. But Feng Su could feel the complex and changing emotions in Naruto's heart extremely clearly. To put it bluntly, when killing a Barame to get the root, the reason why Naruto reacted so strongly was not just because Feng Su killed someone, it was more because Feng Su was out of control, which made Naruto feel uneasy and panicked. Maybe Naruto himself didn't know that in his subconscious, he was more controlling and wary of Feng Su. This should be regarded as the natural attitude of the main personality towards the subpersonality, but Naruto himself does not understand it. I don't know how much time has passed. It wasn't until the light outside the window was too weak to be seen that Naruto finally made up his mind. He said solemnly in a sincere tone, "Feng Su, I'm sorry, it was my fault this afternoon, I shouldn't yell at you and scold you." Before Feng Su could reply in his consciousness, Naruto continued. "In order to prevent you from being so fierce and scary again, I will work hard to learn ninjutsu to protect myself and try not to let you come out to fight. But I will compensate you in my daily life and let you come out to breathe more." These are the ideas that Naruto came up with after thinking about it all night. Since Feng Su couldn't be changed, he would start with himself. "I'm stupid. I don't know how to prevent you from killing people, but I can try to avoid letting you come out to fight. So don't be angry anymore. I won't be angry with you this afternoon, just treat our mistakes as offset." After making such a long call, Naruto pricked up his ears in anticipation. But Feng Su's voice didn't come for a long time. Just when Naruto's inner disappointment and grievance was about to overflow, finally, a soft hum from Feng Su came. You are the main character and you have the final say." After receiving Feng Su's answer, Naruto immediately raised a big smile. The body also stood up from the stool, dancing excitedly. "Great, I knew you wouldn't be so stingy, Feng Su." Host personality trust dependence value 30%. Feng Su in his consciousness also gained the voice and vision of the outside world again. After the conflict was resolved and the idea came to mind, Naruto's stomach suddenly growled. Because he had a fight with Feng Su in the afternoon, he kept thinking about it and forgot to eat. Now that the matter was resolved, a huge sense of hunger instantly overwhelmed him and made him collapse on the bed. "I'm so hungry, I really want to eat ramen." He glanced at the pitch-black sky outside and the buildings without lights. Naruto had no intention of going out and could only accept a glass of fruit. Because of Feng Su's request, all the expired milk and instant noodles were thrown away. And because I was a little busy these 2 days, I couldn't go to the supermarket to buy it. "Isn't there some dried noodles in the refrigerator?" Seeing that Naruto drank a glass of water and was going to sleep, Feng Su couldn't help but frown. From now on, it's his body, and Naruto can't let him do whatever he wants. Besides, this memory of hunger will definitely come from Naruto for him to feel again later, and he doesn't want to experience it. Noodles. Naruto looked confused. The dried noodles in the refrigerator were bought by him a long time ago, but unfortunately they were cooked once and were not tasty and then forgotten. "Forget it, let me out and I'll get you something to eat. The seasonings in the kitchen are quite complete and have not expired. They were all bought by Naruto to use on the fish and wild vegetables he caught when his living expenses were not enough." Get something to eat. Great. Naruto gave up control of his body without saying a word. While watching Feng Su cooking noodles curiously, he and Feng Su talked about Kakashi in the afternoon and tomorrow's wilderness survival drill. Early the next morning, Naruto, who was woken up by the alarm clock, yawned and set off. With the help of Naruto's vision, Feng Su discovered that the number of Umbu around Naruto increased significantly. It seems that after yesterday's incident, Sarutobi Hiruzen became more protective of Naruto. However, this also shows that Sarutobi Hiruzen has not yet defeated Danzo. Danzo did not give up on Naruto, or rather on him. After all, a general was lost, and Feng Su's character was so dangerous. If Feng Su were Danzo, he would not give up. "Naruto, don't forget to have breakfast." Feng Su, who knew the original plot, would naturally not let Naruto skip breakfast as Kakashi said. He could experience the feeling of being hungry all morning from Naruto. "I didn't forget, I'll buy it right now." Naruto also chose a store honestly and went in to buy 3 fried noodles, bread and 3 cartons of milk. Because Naruto had trouble with a store before, the store didn't dare to give him expired items, nor did they dare to scold Naruto. Obviously, this store is also afraid that Naruto's visit will ruin their reputation and cause no one to patronize it. Training course. Suzuki and Sakura have arrived early and are waiting here. The two of them looked at Naruto, who was eating fried noodles and bread, drinking milk and running towards the side, with black lines on his face. However, the two of them understood that Naruto could do such a thing. Moreover, Naruto was not as silent and quiet as yesterday, which also made the two people's worries disappear. "Good morning, Sakura, Suzuki." Chewing noodles in his mouth, Naruto said hello inarticulately. Sakura asked with a dark face, Naruto, didn't Mr. Kakashi say it's best not to eat in the morning to avoid vomiting? It's best not to eat it. It's not that you can't eat it. We'll decide whether to vomit it or not later. Naruto took a sip of milk nonchalantly, and then handed out the 2 prepared portions. Do you want to eat it? I bought you one too. I won't eat it. If Mr. Kakashi decides that you fail because of this matter later, just don't cry. Sakura swallowed, turned her head and angrily rejected Naruto. She was already worried that she wouldn't be able to pass, and now she didn't even dare to violate Kakashi's words yesterday. Where's Sasuke? Naruto looked at Sasuke. With a thoughtful look on his face, Sasuke turned his head and looked around before shaking his head. Let's take a look first and then talk. Sasuke didn't say no explicitly. Because Kakashi didn't arrive for a long time, he discovered some clues. He guessed that Kakashi threatened them not to eat breakfast, and there might be some conspiracy, such as deliberately starving them. Sure enough, an hour passed. Kakashi was still nowhere to be seen. Sasuke looked like I had guessed it, and reached out to take the fried noodles, bread and milk from Naruto's arms. Thank you. After saying thank you, I started eating with big mouthfuls. Sasuke, why even you? Sakura saw Sasuke's actions with a look of confusion. Isn't Sasuke also afraid of being punished by Kakashi-sensei and causing failure? Eat when you're hungry, don't eat if you're afraid of vomiting, it's that simple. Sasuke frowned and didn't give Sakura a good look. Obviously, my grades in school were pretty good, but after practice, I didn't have any analysis of my own and could only ask others. Seeing Sasuke being so rude to Sakura, Naruto glared at him. Then he stuffed the remaining fried noodles, bread and milk into Sakura's hands. Sakura, let's ignore him and just eat. It will definitely be fine. But Sakura clutched her growling stomach, still hesitant. It's no problem, and I've already guessed Mr. Kakashi's purpose. Naruto raised his little face, looking proud that I didn't want to say it, but I had to say it for you. It's actually very simple. Mr. Kakashi was able to defeat those ninjas by himself yesterday, so he must be very strong, and he is our opponent in this mission. Do you think he wants to eliminate us maliciously? Without giving the 2 a chance to answer, Naruto waved his hand directly. Definitely not, otherwise there would be no need to spend so much time on this task. So he wants to test whether we can work as a team. As for saying not to eat breakfast, it is simply to make us hungry and affect our judgment. Even during the assessment process, there will be various traps waiting for us to step on, which will hinder our cooperation. These are the exact words Fangsu said to Naruto yesterday. Naruto now acted out the words verbatim. The effect is also very significant. Sakura was dumbfounded, and Sasuke also looked shocked. It turns out it's teamwork. The 2 of them didn't expect that Naruto, who was at the bottom of the school in terms of grades and abilities, could analyze it so thoroughly. Sakura stopped talking. She had been worried about being eliminated since last night and had never thought about analysis and assessment. Although Sasuke analyzed a lot of things, he really didn't expect the final teamwork. This can also explain why there are 3 people in groups. After Sasuke exhaled, he turned his head and looked at Naruto steadily. These should be told by the person inside you, right? He is really powerful and smart, but I suggest you not to rely too much on him, he is very dangerous. Naruto, who was still laughing proudly, suddenly stopped laughing. There was a guilty conscience on his face, and he spoke harshly without giving up. How do you know? It's not my fault, you're just jealous that I'm smarter than you and can analyze things better than you. Sakura also agreed with Sasuke's words, and there was no longer any shock in her eyes when she looked at Naruto. I couldn't analyze well in the analysis classes at school before, but after graduation I suddenly became very fluent in analysis. Naruto, are you lying to ghosts? Sakura also still has fresh memories of the wind deficiency in Naruto's body. Powerful but cruel, it took only a short time to kill Jonin, who pretended to be a teacher. If Naruto's analysis was informed by him, it couldn't be more reasonable. Fangsu is my secondary personality, and what he said is not the same as what I said. Naruto frowned and refused to admit that his analysis was poor. Fangsu? Subpersonality, X2. Sakura and Sasuke both looked at Naruto with searching eyes. The 2 of them had some guesses about the person inside Naruto, but they did not take the initiative to ask. After all, every ninja has his or her own secrets. Excessively exploring other people's secrets will only make people annoying. Naruto didn't care and shared it with the 2 of them. They were all partners from now on, so there was no need to hide it. That's roughly it. Uzumaki Naruto and Uzumaki Fangsu are both me, 2 sides of the same object. After listening to Naruto's words, both of them sighed. Sakura understands Naruto's past experiences better and sympathizes with him more. Sasuke was a little envious that Naruto had such a powerful helper. If he could have such a powerful subpersonality, he might be able to kill Uchiha Itachi soon. There are indeed 2 sides, one is the rear side of the crane, and the other is the leading side. After Sasuke said something sour, he changed the subject and said seriously, "That's all for Naruto. Later I think we need to discuss the division of labor within the team. Now that Kakashi's assessment indicators have been analyzed, of course, we must do our best according to the indicators, in order to avoid being judged as unqualified due to incorrect division of labor." How to distribute? Naruto looked at the two of them questioningly. This kind of mental thing is not his area of expertise. Of course it is divided into main attack, feint attack and overall command. Sakura quickly said what was taught in class before. Sasuke also nodded, and then looked at Naruto again. Will your subpersonality Uzumaki thinks you take action then? No, I've already planned to keep him from fighting as much as possible. Every time I take action, it's too scary. Naruto waved his hands repeatedly. He didn't want his leading teacher to be beaten to death. Then your multiple shadow clone, can you separate as many as shown before every time? I could before, but now I can't. Now there are only a dozen or so at most. There is a slight problem with what is written here. It means that Naruto did not have much control in the past, so he relied on the seal to convert more Nine Tails chakra. It also leads to difficulty in placing ninjutsu. Naruto made a sad face, looking like I was very unlucky. It's because of the fake teacher who patted my belly yesterday, and I felt that my chakra was missing a lot. But I can successfully release the 3-body technique, and it won't fail, because the 5-element seal will prevent the 8-sign seal from converting the 9 tails chakra into Naruto's own chakra. Therefore, Naruto felt that the amount of chakra he had decreased, and the number of multiple shadow clone was also reduced. Originally, this result would cause chaos after the two chakras coexisted, leaving Naruto unable to control the chakra at all. But it happened that Fengxiu redeemed the 9 tails chakra provided by the system, which was still completely controlled. This also caused Naruto's body to be affected by this control, so that the 9 tails chakra that could not be transformed was not regarded as other chakra, and no disorder was caused. No clutter, and less excess chakra. The combination of these two factors makes Naruto now very comfortable in controlling chakra and can successfully release the 3-body technique. Is that so? Then I will be the main attacker, you will assist me with feint attacks, and Sakura will support us by looking at the overall situation. Sasuke quickly arranged preliminary tactical assignments. The rest can only be done on the spot. After all, this is their first cooperation, and being too meticulous will limit their efforts. As expected of Sasuke, he was so handsome when he was assigned so quickly. Sakura was the first to agree, and at the same time she twisted her body crazily. Naruto on the side looked at Sasuke angrily, thinking that Sasuke wanted to steal his limelight to make Sakura like him. Why are you the main attacker and not me? I want to be the main attacker. Okay, then you will attack and I will feint. Sasuke was too lazy to fight with Naruto, so it would be easier to feint attack on him. Anyway, it's teamwork that's being assessed, and it doesn't matter which position. As the sun rises to 3 poles, the sun is almost overhead. Kakashi finally arrived belatedly carrying his bag. Hey, good morning. You are late. Sakura, Naruto, and Sasuke all glared at Kakashi. They arrived at 6 o'clock in the morning, but it was almost noon before Kakashi came. Fortunately, Naruto was smarter and brought them a portion of fried noodles, bread, and milk. Otherwise, they would definitely be hungry now with their chests pressed against their backs. Sorry everyone, I'm not late, I'm just lost on the road of life. I lost track of time because I was reading the book Little Emperor Uncle by Young Ah-Ming. Isn't this just getting lost on the road of life? It's all the fault of the author of this novel, who made the novel more beautiful than Kissing Heaven, which made him lose track of time. Kakashi put the blame on Naruto without hesitation in his heart, although he did not know that Naruto was the author. Okay, calm down, this is also part of the assessment. As he spoke, Kakashi took out an alarm clock and 2 bells from the bag behind his back. It's actually 11 o'clock. Ahem, I'll set the alarm clock to 12 o'clock now. You have 1 hour to snatch 2 bells from me. Those who do not grab the bell after the time is up will not be eligible for lunch, and will be tied to those pillars to watch me eat. After saying that, Kakashi pointed to the 3 wooden pillars standing nearby. So that's why he threatened us to skip breakfast. Sakura and Sasuke felt happy again for eating the food Naruto brought. But before their rejoicing could end, Kakashi said with a sinister smile, and there are only 2 bells, so one of them is destined to be tied to the pillar, and will be judged as unqualified by me and will have to go back to school to retake it. All 3 of them had joy on their faces. Sure enough, it is the same as the analysis just mentioned. From the beginning, the plan was to drive a wedge between them so that they could not cooperate and fight independently. If they really fight on their own, they will definitely not be able to grab a bell, and then everyone will be eliminated. Tisk, your mental quality is really good. No one is surprised. To be honest, I'm starting to look forward to you. Seeing the calm expressions of the 3 of them, Kakashi's eyes showed admiration. Then he leisurely took out the young man Ah-Ming from his bag and spoke. Okay, enough of the nonsense, let's get started. the moment when the two words started to fall to the ground. The three Narutos on the opposite side immediately distanced themselves from Kakashi. Together they hid in the surrounding trees. Keep a distance, and then hide and observe with concealed aura. Yes, it seems that the school knowledge has not been returned. Kakashi, who stood still, nodded with satisfaction. Then he continued to look down at the book in his hand without caring. Seeing Kakashi being so supportive, Naruto was also a little annoyed at being underestimated. Kakashi-sensei didn't even hide for a moment. He really didn't take us seriously at all. Isn't he afraid that I will ask Thanks you to come out and beat him? Hearing Naruto shouting, Sakura immediately turned around expectantly. Naruto, I agree with your idea, this way we will definitely be able to grab the bell and pass the assessment. Thinking of Feng Su who beat up the fake teacher yesterday, Sakura felt inexplicably excited. Maybe she just likes the kind of cold and strong type of person. Well, it's better for us to do this assessment by ourselves, don't you think so, Sasuke? Naruto said it casually, but he didn't expect Sakura to take him seriously. But he couldn't bear to reject Sakura, so he looked to Sasuke next to him for help. Sasuke gave Sakura a cold look. There was even more disgust and disdain in his eyes. Naruto has already said that he should try not to let his subpersonality fight. If your memory is bad, go and have your brain treated. Being looked at by Sasuke like this again made Sakura feel aggrieved and wanted to cry. It was obviously Naruto who said it himself, she just climbed up the pole, but now it is her fault. I didn't. I just said it casually. I don't have any problem with Naruto not wanting to do it. Sasuke was too lazy to continue talking, and stared at Kakashi again, and continued to speak. It's the same as the tactics we just discussed. Naruto will attack, I will assist, and Sakura will monitor the situation and provide remote support. Does anyone else think differently? No. Naruto and Sakura shook her head. Then let me remind you one last time, the assessment is teamwork, and mutual cooperation is the key to scoring. Sasuke's body bowed slightly, his calves tensed. Do it. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. When the words fell, all three people turned into an afterimage and jumped out. Naruto was in front, Sasuke was behind, and Sakura was holding a shuriken in her hand, occupying a high branch with a wide view. Does the team work together? You can actually have this kind of awareness on your first mission. You are so much better than those guys before who just wanted to express themselves, although Kakashi's face showed that he didn't care and just wanted to read a book. But he kept observing the three of them from the corner of his eye. I am also very satisfied with the current performance of the three of them. Even in the end, the three of them failed to pass the mental test that their companions were greater than their mission. With this keen awareness, Kakashi believes that he can also help them correct their thinking without actually eliminating them. Naturally, Naruto and the other two didn't know that they were already qualified at this moment. Their current goal is to grab the bell around Kakashi's waist. Naruto, when you get close, use multiple shadow clone and I will attract the teacher's attention. Good. After a brief conversation, the two came to Kakashi's front. Naruto's footsteps suddenly stopped and his hands began to form seals. Sasuke quickly twisted his wrist and fired a dozen shurikens at Kakashi from the left and right sides. Uchiha-style throwing technique. Throwing concealed weapons in an open and honest manner is useless. Kakashi didn't even raise his head, he just stepped back and dodged the incoming shuriken. Then he bowed forward and dodged Sakura's shuriken behind him. The flanking attack from the front and back is not bad, but the throwing skills from behind are a bit poor, otherwise I would have to use weapons to block. Kakashi kept making comments with a smile on his face. Don't be so proud. Look at how powerful my shadow clone technique is. After attracting the attention of the two, Naruto also successfully separated 10 shadow clone, and then all rushed towards Kakashi. Sasuke quickly followed Naruto and whispered, Naruto, use your clone to restrain him, and your real body will dodge first. Although he didn't know why, Naruto still nodded as he knew he wanted to cooperate. Immediately, the real body fell one step behind, and all the clones pressed against Kakashi, hugging his limbs tightly and touching them like bells around his waist. High quantity but low quality is useless. Kakashi took out his left hand from his pocket, without even using a weapon. He only hit Naruto's clone with a few blows, making Naruto let go in pain. However, 10 clones followed one after another, and Kakashi was temporarily entangled in the same place. Seeing that Kakashi was successfully entangled, Sasuke from behind had a sneer on his face and quickly formed ninja seals in his hands. Si Wei Shen Hai Wu Yin. Teacher, you lose. Sasuke's hands were clenched, his index and middle fingers were raised in front of his mouth, and his cheeks were bulging high. Fire style, great fireball technique. A ball of fire with a radius of 1 meter long was spit out from Sasuke's mouth, and the target was Kakashi, who was entangled by Naruto's clone. It's a C-rank ninjutsu. I didn't expect that besides Naruto, who is a weirdo, there is also a good talent like Sasuke. Kakashi's eyes widened in shock, full of joy. Immediately afterwards his whole body was wrapped in a ball of fire. Kakashi-sensei, Naruto also shouted in disbelief. Then he turned to glare at Sasuke and grabbed his collar. Asshole Sasuke, you've gone too far. Just as Sasuke was about to say something, he heard Sakura's urgent voice in the distance. It's a substitute technique, please be careful up there, above. Both of them were startled, and just as they were about to hide away, they heard a voice coming from above their heads. If you start fighting among yourself without confirming your opponent's status, you will be deducted points for this. Kakashi squatted on the tree trunk, still holding the young man's book in his hand. But the next second, he appeared in front of the two of them with a rope in his hand. At this time, several circles of flying rope suddenly appeared in midair. Kakashi in front of them pulled gently, and the rope quickly contracted, tying them up and hanging them on the tree. So fast, so strong. Is this the strength of elite Jonin? Sasuke said in shock. The action just now was completed in the blink of an eye, and he had no time to dodge. Naruto was yelling, obviously very unconvinced. It doesn't count if you do a sneak attack. If you have the ability, you can compete with me openly. There is no such thing as a sneak attack on the battlefield. Kakashi tightened the rope and completely tied the two of them to the tree trunk. Then he raised his head slightly and looked at Naruto. What should I say? Let the guy inside you come out. Otherwise I'm going to catch Sakura. No need, I can defeat you on my own. Naruto struggled with his arms and legs waving desperately. Unfortunately, Kakashi was tied too tightly and there was no way to break free without external force. Tisk, you are really a child with a bad temper and only talk big words. Kakashi curled his lips and looked at the young man aiming in his hand again, but he still said excitedly, it's better to let him come out, otherwise you will really fail. Is he afraid of coming out because he's afraid of me? Thanks, you won't be afraid of you. Naruto yelled angrily, if you really come out, I can beat you to death with one hand. Oh, Kakashi looked unhappily and loosened the rope in his hand, then pulled it up again. Naruto and Sasuke followed suit, jumping up and down, just like bungee jumping. At this time, Fang Su in his consciousness could no longer stand it. Originally he wasn't going to care about it, but since Kakashi dared to provoke him, what if he gave Kakashi a defeat? Then he said, Naruto, I have a way to let you win without coming out. You can help me win without coming out? Naruto, who was feeling dizzy from being shaken up and down, suddenly became energetic when he heard Fang Su's voice. He hurriedly suppressed his physical discomfort and asked repeatedly in his heart, how can you help me win? Are you going to teach me how to use the power of 9 tails? Fang Su sneered and shook his head. I think you are thinking about shit. I can't teach you this. It's up to you. What Fang Su said was also true. His 9 tails is the power given by the system, and he is the master. Naruto's 9 tails is a seal-tailed beast, so if you want power, you have to find 9 tails. It can't come out, and it can't make me stronger, so what should I do? Naruto pursed his lips, feeling a little aggrieved and angry. He felt that Fang Su was just teasing him and taking advantage of him. Naruto, the way to solve problems is not only violence, but also your rusty elm brain. Fang Su hated that iron could not become steel. Forget about the Holy Mother, you are still stupid. If you are miserable, who will be miserable? What? Fang Su, why are you scolding me? I knew you were making fun of me. Naruto was angry and aggrieved, and regardless of his body shaking up and down, he opened his teeth and claws wildly at the air. This scene was also seen by Kakashi. Are you communicating with that subpersonality called Uzumaki Fang Su? That should be coming out soon, right? Thinking like this, Kakashi speeded up the movements of his hands again. This time the bungee jumping duo became a bungee disco duo. Kakashi's mischief was also seen by Fang Su. The discomfort on Naruto's side also began to be transmitted to him. Immediately he stopped trying to be pretentious and asked directly. It's very simple. Look at the book Kakashi is holding in his hand. What is it called? Ugh. Naruto, who was shaken to the point of nausea and retching, quickly looked down at the book in Kakashi's hand. Ming a Nian, young man a Ming. Only then did Naruto realize that the book he had never noticed was actually a novel written by Fang Su. You want me to use the subsequent plot to exchange bells with Mr. Kakashi? Fang Su, forget it, I told you to listen. Fang Su was speechless and immediately gave up the idea of guiding Naruto to think. I will tell you the plot at the end of the novel later, and you can use this plot to attract Kakashi's attention. While he was distracted, you once again used multiple Shadow Clone and others to besiege Kakashi, and shouted for revenge. Attention, this time you made a Shadow Clone look like a shuriken, mixed in with the attack, and used it to hold the bell close to the waist. While his attention is on the plot and dodging, let the shuriken clone come back and grab the bell. Do you understand it? Because the 9 tails chakra was severed, Naruto's 3 body technique returned to normal levels. So there is no problem in using the clone to transform into a shuriken. I see. After hearing Fang Su's method, Naruto's face was filled with admiration. He originally thought that Fang Su was a violent maniac who only resorted to violence. I didn't expect that I would be so smart and think of such an old-fashioned method. He yelled for revenge and attacked, but in fact it was just for the bell. If it weren't for Naruto's poor cultural level, he would definitely have to praise him for his ability to make false claims and hide things from others. Outside, Teacher Kakashi, if you dare, shake me to death today, or we will beat your ass to pieces when I get out of trouble. While shouting at the top of his lungs, Naruto winked crazily at Sakura, who was approaching. He spoke in a loud voice, as did Sasuke, who was equally dazed beside him. Sakura breaks the rope later, and we'll have another fight together. This revenge must be avenged. Even if we can't beat Mr. Kakashi, we must beat him. Idiot, you are too loud. The dizzy Sasuke suddenly felt tired. With 250 teammates like him, he didn't lose unfairly. You want to spank me? Then don't blame me, teacher. I don't follow martial ethics. I used Arcana's secret technique to kill you for thousands of years. Kakashi had a smile on his face, but he already had a plan in his heart to make Naruto and Sasuke's chrysanthemums bloom. Whoosh, whoosh, whoosh. Not far away, Sakura, who found the right moment, shot a shuriken at the rope. Kakashi saw this and didn't stop him. The rope that tied Mingzo and the two of them broke, and they escaped and fell back to the ground. Sasuke Sakura, do it quickly. As soon as he landed, Naruto quickly formed a shadow clone. After yelling to take action, he shouted at Kakashi in the loudest voice. Chapter 31, Mom's Friend. 31 chapters? Kakashi was a little confused and didn't understand what Naruto was talking about. But when Kakashi heard the name Ming appear later, and the coherent plot, the expression on his face finally became unbearable, and his eyes widened, as if he had seen a ghost. How is it possible? How do you know the plot behind it? No, the author's name is Fengxiu, Whirlpool Fengxiu. The author is your subpersonality. This novel was written by you. Don't be stunned, take action quickly and support us with hidden weapons. Seeing Sakura and Sasuke standing there in a daze listening to the plot, their faces turned red. Naruto's shadow clone roared and quickly rushed towards Kakashi. The two people who were yelled at also woke up from a dream and turned to look at Naruto with a complicated look. They knew that Kakashi was stunned now and that this was a rare opportunity. So he restrained himself and did not ask any unnecessary questions at this time. Quickly follow Naruto's instructions, take out a hidden weapon and throw it in Kakashi's direction. While Naruto was repeating Fengxiu's words, he had a shuriken in his hand that was the same as an ordinary hidden weapon. Then he took out some shurikens from the ninja bag, and then threw them all at Kakashi in front. The plot is very coherent. It turns out that a Ming is even my mother's friend. Kakashi was fascinated by it, as if he was bathed in the Bible. Just like kissing heaven, he also read the book Young A Ming several times. Now that I suddenly heard the follow-up plot that I had been thinking about, Kakashi was indeed attracted most of his attention. But when Naruto's shadow clone and many hidden weapons attacked, Kakashi was still able to dodge all the attacks with ease. You did a great job. But it's a pity that in this last-ditch effort to beat me up, you will still. Bells. Kakashi's smiling face suddenly changed, and his hand moved towards the bell on his waist. Too bad the bell has disappeared. The tinkling sound of bells, accompanied by Naruto's proud laughter, sounded behind him. Hee hee, Mr. Kakashi, I grabbed the bell, you lose. While Naruto said proudly, you lost, Fengxiu also received a message from the system. Host personality trust dependence value 35%, blackening value plus 200, current blackening value 5000. Naruto turned into a shuriken and got the bell. In the distance, Sasuke and Sakura opened their mouths when they saw the whole process. Originally they thought they couldn't get the bell, and they just wanted to vent their anger for the last time. Unexpectedly, in a twist of events, Naruto deceived everyone and got the bell. But this is totally unlike Naruto's style, isn't it? Not only Sakura and Sasuke think so, but also the dark-faced Kakashi. He walked towards Naruto, clapping his hands. It used the content of the novel to attract my attention so that I couldn't think carefully. Then it used words to express that it wanted to beat me for revenge to guide my thinking. Finally, it used Shadow Clone to turn it into a hidden weapon and sneak into the attack to steal the bell. One link after another, it's really a meticulous and wonderful plan. You are worthy of being able to write such a masterpiece, Uzumaki Fengxiu. You are truly a terrifying being. Kakashi looked at Naruto's face, but the words in his mouth had nothing to do with Naruto. Whirlpool Fengxiu. It turns out that this plan was thought up by Naruto's subpersonality. That makes sense. Sakura suddenly understood, while Sasuke breathed a sigh of relief. This plan would be fine as long as it wasn't Naruto's idea. As for the subpersonality Fengxiu, he is a pervert who can kill elite jonin. The gap is too big to compare. Comparing with him will only increase the pressure. Ah, I was discovered by you, teacher. Being pointed out by Kakashi, Naruto's smile showed a guilty conscience. But Uzumaki Fengxiu also represents me. Teacher, you won't cheat and refuse to admit defeat, right? Kakashi withdrew his gaze and said disdainfully, if I lose, I lose. I won't end up reneging on my debts with you genin. But, Kakashi changed the topic and said with a malicious smile, "You only have 2 bells. Have you decided who to eliminate and then be tied to a pillar to watch me eat lunch?" Ah! Sakura was confused by Kakashi's words. Isn't this intimidation designed to undermine our teamwork? We all successfully got the bell and completed the task. Why are we still tied up and eliminated? Sakura's words made Kakashi understand why the three of them chose to join forces in the first place. It seems that you have understood the purpose of this assessment from the beginning. It should be Suunryu Fengsu who told you, right? Kakashi suddenly felt a little tired. He was engaged in education here, but Fengsu over there was trying to undermine him. It was really not cute. I really don't know why Naruto, who shares the same body, can be so stupid and weak. No, it's possible that it was Naruto's stupidity and weakness that gave rise to such a powerful personality for self-protection. Kakashi felt that his guess was reasonable, but on the surface he said it calmly. Who told me I was threatening you? The rules were very clear from the beginning. There are only 2 bells, and one person must be eliminated. Seeing that the joy of the 3 people faded away, they bowed their heads and remained silent. Kakashi did not deliberately embarrass her, and pointed directly at Sakura. Since you don't choose, then I will choose. Haruno Sakura, in terms of performance, you were the worst just now, so I'm sorry, you were eliminated. After saying that, he waved to Naruto and Sasuke who was standing aside. You two, go tie Haruno Sakura to the pillar and start eating lunch. Upon hearing this result, Sakura slumped to the ground. Naruto and Sasuke, on the other hand, didn't move. Among them, Naruto began to call Feng Su crazily in his heart. If you know Feng Su of the original plot, you will naturally understand what Kakashi means. So he said directly, Naruto, reject him. What should I do if I refuse? Nothing can be done. You have to understand that the 3 of you are a team. If anyone is missing just now, the mission will fail. Naruto seemed to understand something, and then raised his head with firm eyes. Kakashi-sensei, I refuse to carry out your order because I think it is unreasonable. Oh? Kakashi became interested and turned to look at Naruto. You mean you want to replace Haruno Sakura and be eliminated? If you insist on eliminating me, just eliminate me. We were able to capture the bell just now, but we couldn't do it without either Sasuke or Sakura. We are an indispensable whole. We are partners who can complete tasks together. We are Team 7. Naruto seemed to have opened up the 2 channels of Ren and Du, and his words were loud and clear. Sakura, who was in despair, was filled with emotion. Naruto. Sasuke on the side also raised his head again and said seriously, 3 people have completed the task, but 1 person has to be eliminated. I don't agree with this unreasonable assessment, so I agree with Naruto. If the teacher insists on eliminating 1 person, then I will choose to quit class 7. This place is not suitable for me to grow. The words of the 2 made Kakashi's eyes narrow, and he looked at Sakura with an unfriendly expression. The 2 of them chose to be eliminated. What about you? Do you want to be the only qualified person? Just as Sakura was about to speak, Kakashi said sadly again, think carefully before answering. Even if you repeat the exam for a year, you will still see me next year and you will still be unable to pass. Sakura glanced hesitantly at Naruto and Sasuke, who had firm expressions, and finally gritted her teeth and said, I give up too. Naruto and Sasuke are right. We are 3 people completing the mission. We are partners and a whole. Very good. Since you all think so, then. As he spoke, Kakashi's serious expression slowly softened, and his voice also changed from fierce to gentle. Congratulations, all of you have passed the exam. Hearing Kakashi's words, the 3 of them were stunned, and then they exclaimed in disbelief. Aha, Kakashi-sensei, are you wrong? Wasn't he eliminated? Why did he suddenly pass? Looking at the happy 3 people, Kakashi smiled slightly and looked into the distance. The mission is very important to ninjas and must be completed. Those who cannot complete it are called waste, but those who do not cherish their companions in order to complete their mission are scum that is worse than trash. So I had to eliminate these people and have this assessment. Kakashi's words brought tears to Naruto's eyes. Is this a ninja? It's so cool. Sasuke was also smiling, while Sakura was jumping up and down excitedly. Today's mission has been successfully completed. Everyone is dismissed on the spot. Starting tomorrow, Team 7 will begin to perform real tasks. Great. Kakashi's words made the 3 of them feel happy again. After that they said goodbye and went home. Except for Kakashi, who has been following Naruto, holding a book and reading. Kakashi-sensei, why have you been following me? Naruto, who couldn't bear it anymore, finally turned around and asked at the door of his house. Kakashi didn't regard himself as an outsider at all. He casually raised his head and glanced at the surrounding environment and said, Oh, it's already at the doorstep. Don't be stunned, hurry up to the gate of opening. Naruto, this is my home, right? Naruto turned his head with a dark face. Kakashi nodded and closed the book in his hand. I know, Mr. Hokage and I were here yesterday afternoon. What? Don't be nervous, just come and take a look, because you and I still have a lot of history. Looking at Naruto's face, Kakashi felt a little sad. How come he looks nothing like Minato-sensei except for his hair? But it's okay if it doesn't look like it, just keep seeing it and it will bring back sad memories. Thinking of this, Kakashi didn't want to be too pretentious and said directly, I remember seeing a pile of manuscripts on your desk yesterday. You asked me to finish reading them and then leave. But don't worry, when your book is published again, I will buy a few more copies to make up for it. I knew it. Naruto had actually guessed what Kakashi was thinking, but he didn't mind showing it to Kakashi in advance. After all, he had become his teacher. But the origin Kakashi just mentioned made him a little curious. Fangsu hasn't finished writing the manuscript yet. If you want to read it, come in. Naruto opened the gate of opening and invited Kakashi in, and then asked, by the way, teacher, what is the origin you just mentioned? It's nothing, you will know later. Kakashi didn't intend to say it out loud and then claim this little junior brother. To be honest, Kakashi has always been a little resentful towards Naruto's father and teacher, Minato Namikaze. As the fastest man in the ninja world, he was one step behind when his apprentice had accidents twice, resulting in tragedy happening one after another. Moreover, there was also the matter of his father, and Minato did nothing, not saying a few words of help. But in the final analysis, these resentments are not Minato's fault, and Kakashi understands that. It can only be said that the situation forced us to take the overall situation into consideration, but it also caused Kakashi to have a knot in his heart. Of course, what Kakashi resents the most is himself, who is weak and unable to change everything. However, the combination of all this successfully led to Kakashi being indifferent to Naruto and not taking special care of him. Again, if you say it later, you are clearly treating me like a child. Naruto pouted and handed the manuscript on the table to Kakashi. Here, I've just written 10 chapters of the plot for you. Just as Kakashi was about to take it and hold it for a look, he found that Naruto did not let go, but looked at him with bright eyes. If you have anything to say, just tell me. If it's too much trouble, I'd rather wait until the book is published to read it. Kakashi is a little helpless, he just wants to follow a novel. Why is it so troublesome? Naruto chuckled, letting go of his hand and scratching his head in embarrassment. Teacher Kakashi, can you teach me how to practice and how to master the Nine Tails chakra? I don't want Fangsu to always come out to help me fight and protect me. I also want to become stronger myself, and then become Hokage so that everyone can recognize me. Looking at Naruto's expectant face, Kakashi was stunned, but he immediately understood what Naruto was thinking and said with a frown, after tomorrow, I will start teaching you how to practice and teach you how to better control the chakra in your body. But the chakra of Nine Tails is very special. I can't do anything about it, but you can try to ask the vortex Fangsu in your body. After you pass the first stage of chakra control practice, your chakra attributes will be checked later to start the second stage of practice, so don't worry too much. You will become stronger sooner or later step by step, and everyone will recognize you. Oh, Naruto was a little disappointed. Taking it one step at a time was too slow. He mainly wanted to master the Nine Tails chakra and become stronger quickly. It's a pity that Fangsu didn't tell him, and Kakashi was helpless. Ignoring the disappointed Naruto, Kakashi quickly looked at the manuscript in his hand. The plot is very nice. He has already seen it and feels it, and he is even more convinced. In this cold and numb ninja world, only these virtual erotic stories can make him feel a little bit warm. Hokage office. Naruto wants you to teach him how to practice and master the Nine Tails chakra? After listening to Kakashi's report, Sarutobi Hiruzen couldn't help but frown. Yes, Naruto said he didn't want Uzumaki Fugetsu to come out to fight. Kakashi nodded and expressed his guess. Maybe he felt that the method was too violent and cruel, so he resisted. Naruto's two personalities are like two extremes. A pure and kind person who doesn't hold grudges, but has average talent. A violent and perverse John Yaichan must be punished, but he is extremely talented. Fortunately, the kind-hearted Naruto was the leader. If Fangsu had been the leader, Konoha would have been in chaos long ago when Naruto was a child. Sarutobi Hiruzen was non-committal about Kakashi's speculation. This is very similar to Naruto's style, but Naruto really needs to improve his strength. It is always not good if the strength gap between the two personalities is too large, and if the fierce Fangsu is often allowed to come out and fight with his body, it may also cause hidden dangers. To be honest, Sarutobi Hiruzen was a little worried about Fangsu's personality compared to Naruto, who was easy to control. Now Naruto can overcome one, but that may not be possible in the future. After thinking for a moment, Sarutobi Hiruzen continued, you should pay more attention to Naruto's training. After all, he is also a descendant of Minato. I will try my best to meet your training needs. By the way, if the next mission is to be careful of the root ninjas outside the village, even though Danzo is pushed back by me, he still has no intention of giving up. Anyway, I will give you a secret code that only you know. Hearing Danzo's name, Kakashi's eyes flashed with danger. Because of Yamato's incident, Danzo hated him very much and even had him assassinated for a while. But it's a pity that all those people were killed by him, leaving no one alive. This is why Kakashi didn't give any face to Yamanaka and the others when he saw them. I see. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded with satisfaction, but he did not forget Suzuki and Sakura. Herding a sheep is herding, and herding a group of sheep is herding. Since we want to teach the other two not to pull them down, we need to cultivate the bond between them. The bond is the stumbling block for the village to hold Naruto back, and Sarutobi Hiruzen is also planning to arrange it now. Waiting for Kakashi to leave, Sarutobi Hiruzen gave instructions to Umbu, who was waiting in the dark. Send someone to explore Jiraiya's whereabouts and tell him the news that Naruto needs to be taught. Naruto's personality is very similar to Jiraiya's, so Sarutobi Hiruzen is not worried about Jiraiya's teaching. Moreover, the two of them have the status of disciples. Yes, the mask flashed away in the darkness. Over the next month, Kakashi arranged high-intensity training for Naruto and the three of them according to Sarutobi Hiruzen's request. Master chakras, tree climbing and water treading practices. Physical training to enhance body strength. Skill training in throwing concealed weapons. And the actual combat training of fighting against each other. In short, I do tasks in the morning and practice in the afternoon and evening. It was so fulfilling that Naruto and the three of them almost died from exhaustion. However, the effect is also very significant. In addition to being a Sakura who doesn't know how to use ninjutsu, Suzuki, who has mastered C-level ninjutsu, and Naruto, who has mastered A-level ninjutsu, are already as powerful as Chunin. Of course, Naruto was able to master his chakras so quickly, thanks to the dead Abarame. If he hadn't used the 5-element seal, he could have solved the huge amount of chakra that was difficult to control by accident. Naruto was probably still in the tree climbing stage. The improvement of chakra mastery also represents the improvement of strength. Even if Naruto doesn't have the 9 tails chakra now, he can still rely on the physique of the Uzumaki clan to create nearly 100 shadow clones. In addition to practicing, a lot of things happened during this more than a month. Among them, the novel Young A Ming became a hit after its release. The single volume of the first volume sold more than 100,000 copies in 1 month, breaking the record of making love with heaven. Then there is the relationship between Naruto and Irika, which was restored to its original state under Fengxiu's intentional guidance. After Naruto's explanation, Irika understood that it was not Naruto who was cruel. It's a secondary personality created by Naruto's painful past experiences. So Irika felt more sympathy and pity for Naruto. He even spent money to buy Naruto ramen for a month, and often helped him clean the house, like an old father. After that, Sarutobi Hiruzen also paid attention to Irika again. While he was promoted, he was also given a new task. Let him try to change Fengxiu with ideas such as the will of fire. The result was definitely a failure. When Fengxiu saw Irika, he immediately disappeared and mentally advanced the plan again. And executing the plan also requires some available manpower. Regarding these manpower, Fengxiu has initially targeted 2 targets. That is Haku and Zabuza in the follow-up plot of Wave Country. Konoha Mission Hall. Oh, my little cutie, you are really worried about me. The wife of the daimyo of the Land of Fire was hugging a cat with teeth and claws, and was rubbing her head crazily. Even from a distance, Naruto and the three of them could feel the cat's pain and rejection. In front of the mission table, Sarutobi Hiruzen held a pipe in his mouth, took out a mission completion note and said, Class 7, successfully completed the D-level mission to find the lost tiger. Well, the next task is, to help take care of the children, or to go shopping in the neighboring village, or to help harvest sweet potatoes. Before Sarutobi Hiruzen could finish reciting, Naruto was the first to be unable to bear it any longer. He folded his hands in front of him as a sign of rejection and shouted, Duh, don't give us missions like this again. After practicing for more than a month, Master Kakashi said that we are all at Chunin level. Suzuki and Sakura, who were behind Naruto, nodded in agreement. After hard training, you naturally need a major task to test your own level. Seeing this, Sarutobi Hiruzen looked at Kakashi. What do you think? Kakashi touched his chin and said, they have done enough D-level missions, and they are practicing well, so it's time to try to get a higher level mission. Sarutobi Hiruzen nodded with satisfaction. In that case, let me assign you the task of a C-level protector. As he said that, he waved in the direction of the lounge nearby. Come out, your mission has been taken over. The door to the lounge was pushed open, and an old man holding a bottle of wine pushed out the door. Finally someone picked up. What? Why are they all brats? Especially the shortest yellow Japanese melon in the middle. He looks stupid. Is he really a useful ninja? The old man with strong aggression in his words was Tatsuna, the bridge builder of the Land of Waves. It is also the beginning of the plot of the original Wave Country. In consciousness. Finally, the plot of the Land of Waves is about to begin. He looked at Tatsuna, who was holding a wine bottle and concealing the real information. Fengxiu waved his hand and opened his system panel. Host, Fengxiu blackening value, 15,000 Host personality trust / dependence value, 40% Master ninjutsu, seduction technique, 3 body technique, shadow level taijutsu, 1 tail chakra mode, multiple shadow clone techniques. After more than a month, the trust and dependence value has slowly increased back to 40%. The blackening value was originally supposed to be over 18,000. Basically, it was all earned by Naruto walking around Konoha and getting scolded for more than a month. You might get a lot at first, but later you might get scolded too much. So much so that Naruto was completely immune to being scolded, and that vicious curse could no longer arouse his emotions. This is also the reason why Naruto didn't jump back and scold Naruto when Tajuna scolded him outside. The less than 3,000 blackening points were all exchanged by Fengxiu for the physical skills of ninjas, but most of them are Chunin on duty in the village, and there are only 3 Jonin, Kakashi, Asuma, and Ui Korone. The continuous accumulation has also allowed the original elite Jonin Taijutsu to be successfully upgraded to Shadow level Taijutsu. Although he has Shadow level physical skills, if he doesn't turn on the 1-tail chakra mode, Fengxiu's strength is about the same as that of an ordinary elite Jonin. After all, he hadn't met Metkai and didn't know the moves of a physical ninja, otherwise his strength would have improved a lot. Moreover, Fengxiu has been jealous of Metkai's 8 Gates Dunjia for a long time. To put it bluntly, with 8 Gates Dunjia, Fengxiu's shadow level physical skills are enough to exert super shadow level strength. And the 1-tail chakra mode he redeemed was the 9 tails chakra with yang attributes. The damage caused to the body by 8 Gates Dunjia can basically be treated and repaired by this yang chakra. Suppressing what he was thinking, Fengxiu looked at the blackening value again. Now that the plot has begun, let's redeem the blackening value. After saying that, Fengxiu reached out and pointed at the ninjutsu stored in the system. Exchange 3 tails chakra mode, yang attribute, -12,000. Exchange the flying thunder god technique 3000 current blackening value 0, because I have redeemed 1 tail chakra mode before, the 14,000 required for 3 tails chakra mode minus 2,000 is 12,000. As for the exchange for the flying thunder god, it was because Fengxiu was ready to close his men and start implementing the plan. Therefore, he needs the long distance movement of flying thunder god to increase his mobility. Outside, members of Team 7 who successfully received the mission. Having already put on my backpack, I met Dasna at the gate. Set off with the sound of Kakashi. Naruto, Sakura, who had never stepped out of the village gate, embarked on the road to the country of waves. There are 5 big countries in the entire ninja world and countless small countries. Most of them have their own large or small ninja villages. Walking on uneven forest paths, Kakashi spread the common sense of various countries in the ninja world to Naruto, Sakura and the others. This is knowledge that is not taught in ninja school textbooks, and can only be taught by the teacher who leads the team during the mission. Just as everyone was talking and approaching a small puddle in front of them, except for Naruto who was still excited, and Tatsuna who was worried, Kakashi, Suzuki and Sakura all glanced at the puddle without trace. Sakura was about to catch Naruto who was unaware and say something, but Suzuki stopped her with his eyes, and motioned for her to get close to Dasna for protection. Suzuki, on the other hand, quietly touched the kunao in the ninja bag on his waist. As for Kakashi, he looked up at the woods beside him again, and slowly closed the book in his hand. As everyone passed by the puddle, 2 heads wearing scuba masks poked their heads out of the puddle. It's just that they haven't waited for their next move. Suzuki, who was walking in front of him, suddenly stopped and turned around. At the same time, he was holding the completed nin seal in his hand, and his cheeks were bulging high. Fire style, great fireball technique. A huge fireball flew out with a bang and headed straight for the 2 ninjas in the water. Discovered. Get out of the way. 2 exclamations came out, and the 2 ninjas in the puddle jumped out quickly. Unfortunately, the sudden fire style was too fast, and the legs of the 2 people who jumped out were burned by the flames. Before they could cry out in pain, a strong wind roared from behind the flames that disappeared in front. After the huge fireball dispersed, there was a whip leg that magnified infinitely in front of his eyes. The next second, the 2 of them were kicked in the head and fell to the ground with stars in their eyes. Humph, vulnerable. Suzuki stood proudly, his face full of disdain. The sun was shining brightly in the sky, and there was no trace of rain on the road, but a handful of puddles suddenly appeared. Kakashi had used this little trick on them too many times during the actual training in the previous month. I can only deceive Naruto, that idiot who gets stupid whenever he's happy. It's an enemy attack. Naruto, who was belatedly aware of this, turned around and reacted. Seeing the puddle on the ground that he ignored, he immediately understood what was going on. Instantly his happy smile fell, and he ran towards Suzuki angrily. These little devils are really unexpectedly reliable. Seeing the 2 enemies lying unconscious on the ground, Dasna on the side also let out a long sigh of relief, and his heart dropped. Kakashi at the front frowned slightly, then quickly returned to his original expression. After turning his head and glancing at Tatsuna and Sakura who were right next to him, Kakashi raised his feet and walked in the direction of Suzuki. Suddenly, Feng Xiu's voice came out in Naruto's mind. Naruto, prepare multiple shadow clone ninja seals. Sakura and Tatsuna are in danger. Hearing this, Naruto's running steps stopped. What? Sakura is in danger. Sensing the malice in the woods behind Sakura and Tatsuna, Feng Xiu sighed and said unhappily, "You idiot, keep your expression natural and don't show any flaws. There's someone in the woods behind Sakura and Tatsuna. They've been following them since they left the village. Now that they are approaching, they probably want to take action. Don't alert them and make them retreat again." With a deep malice towards everyone in Team 7, Feng Xiu knew without even thinking that he was Danzo's route. After being scolded by Feng Xiu, Naruto reacted immediately and continued to walk towards Sasuke. "But I kept asking in my heart, what should we do now? They won't hurt Sakura and Uncle Tatsuna, right? Now you still remember that there is Tatsuna." Feng Xiu was a little helpless to complain, so he comforted, "There are 6 enemies, and they are not strong, about the level of Chunin. I think Kakashi must have noticed it. If you are worried, you can ask me to come out." If Sakura hadn't been useful in the future, Feng Xiu wouldn't have bothered with it at all. No, Chunin, I can handle it by myself." Naruto, who was still hesitant about whether to let Feng Xiu come out, was immediately relieved when he heard that there were only a few Chunin. It's not him who blows Chunin like Mizuki, he can hit 10 now. As for why there are 10, of course it's because he can make 100 shadow clones, and if you fight one of 10, you'll definitely win. I hope so. Feng Xiu shook his head and said nothing more. Chunin like Mizuki, who is engaged in education, is the best among the 6 Chunin on the tree, and can fight 20. Just when Kakashi and Naruto were far away from Sakura and Tatsuna, the 6 masked ninjas finally stopped hiding. They turned into 6 paths after images and all jumped out of the woods behind. He grabbed Sakura, who was still standing in front of the woods. "Are you finally willing to come out?" Kakashi, who was originally walking towards Sasuke, turned around instantly and threw the shuriken he had prepared. "Sakura, I'm here to save you." Naruto, who was already prepared, turned around and used multiple shadow clone techniques. In an instant, nearly 100 shadow clone appeared, and even squeezed in front of Sakura and Tatsuna under Naruto's control. Sasuke, who was farthest away, was the slowest to react. After being stunned for a moment, he quickly rushed over. "Damn it, I've been discovered. No need to arrest them alive, just kill them on the spot." The 6 root ninjas didn't expect to be discovered as soon as they showed up. He immediately grabbed Sakura's hand and was forced to withdraw it to block Kakashi's shuriken. Then 5 people rushed towards Kakashi and Naruto to delay, and the remaining 1 rushed towards Sakura and Tatsuna. Their original mission was to capture Naruto's favorite Sakura as bait and make Naruto obedient to their roots. Now that the original mission has no choice, it can only be changed to obliterating Sakura and trying to make Naruto go berserk and cause Nine Tails to lose control of its power. As long as the power of Nine Tails is out of control, Danzo will have another chance to behave openly and openly. He can even defeat Hiruzen Sarutobi. It's a pity that he was forced back to his hometown and couldn't stay at the root of Konoha's activities, so he made a mistake in intelligence. I have no idea about the changes in the strength of Class 7 over the past month or so. I thought Sakura was just a genin who could kill with just 1 or 2 moves. The root ninja who rushed towards Sakura first threw a shuriken to block Sakura's trajectory. Then he swung his kunao at an extremely fast speed and prepared to seal his throat with a knife. Sakura, who had already fought with Kakashi many times, reacted instantly. While bending backward to avoid the blow, he raised his foot and kicked the opponent's chin to counterattack. And he didn't forget to push the frightened Tatsuna behind him with his hand. "Uncle Dazna, run!" Dazna also reacted immediately, realized that he was a laggard, and quickly turned around and ran away. It is estimated that the wrong attack failed, and the same is true for the 5 root ninjas who delayed the time. As soon as they rushed over, they were tightly entangled by numerous shadow clones and had no time to stop Kakashi. Seeing that there is nothing you can do, the mission is about to fail. The root ninja on Sakura's side showed a look of determination. Then he took out a stack of nearly 10 detonating talismans from his body, activated them, and pounced directly on Sakura regardless of the attack. "For my lord, let's die together." Sakura! Naruto's eyes instantly became bloodshot when he saw this scene. His group of shadow clone also immediately gave up the 5 of them and rushed over there. At the same time, Feng Xiu in his consciousness also received a system message. The host's personality emotion has reached a critical value, and the host can be replaced at any time. Kakashi, who was closest on the other side, also had a cold look on his face. No longer intending to row the water and use these ninjas to test the strength of the 3 of them. While pulling down the mask to reveal Sharingan, he quickly formed the ninja seal of Reikiri in his hand. He wanted to use Reikiri's speed to block him, but after all, there was still not enough time. The root ninja wanted to die together, not to survive. Therefore, the detonating talisman in hand activates extremely quickly. In just the blink of an eye, a huge explosion resounded through the sky. Boom! The explosion power was equivalent to 10 grenades, instantly blasting a big crater in front. The rising soil and smoke obscured the surrounding vision. The smoke and dust soon fell to the ground and dispersed. The scene that appeared in front of them made both Kakashi and Suzuki's eyes widen. I saw Sakura, who was supposed to die with the root ninja. Naruto, who was glowing with light golden chakra, was holding it in his hand. Naruto, no, you are Uzumaki Fangsu. Because Naruto was enveloped in a layer of pale golden chakra. Moreover, Sakura was also held up by her collar, not held in her arms. So Kakashi and Suzuki quickly understood who the person in front of them was. The worry and self-blame on his face disappeared, and he let out a long breath. Fangsu, whose name was called out by Kakashi, shook the intact Sakura in his hand non-committally. Then he threw it casually on the ground. Fangsu, thank you for saving me. Although it was thrown away like garbage, it was thrown on the ground without mercy. But Sakura didn't dare to complain. She immediately got up and bowed to thank her. When she was hugged and couldn't break free, she thought she was doomed and had closed her eyes in despair. Unexpectedly, at the critical moment, Fangsu actually came out and kicked away the enemy who caught her. Moreover, he has such a handsome golden chakra, and his hairstyle and temperament are much cooler than the original Naruto. It's like a Naruto version of Suzuki, no, even cooler than Suzuki. It's a pity that she was held in the hand. If she was held by the princess. Thinking of this, Sakura's face instantly turned red with embarrassment, and she didn't dare to raise her bowed body. To be honest, she felt like she had fallen in love with Naruto, a powerful and secure sub-personality. Suzuki, who ran closely behind Kakashi, looked at the pale golden chakra on Fangsu's body with confusion. This pale golden chakra, could it be Nine Tails chakra? No, it doesn't have the evil and violent feeling before. Instead, it has a gentle feeling. Suzuki sensed it well, and Fangsu gave him an appreciative look. As expected of Orochimaru, he has excellent ninja qualities and talents. It's a pity that my heart is not firm. I always change my inner thoughts, and my understanding of myself is not enough. As a result, in the original plot, he looked like a two-faced clown. Kakashi also looked at Fangsu with a complicated expression. Thank you. Fortunately, you showed up in time, otherwise I would have lost my lovely student because of my carelessness. Kakashi originally thought that Danzo's targets would only be himself and Naruto. We will not deal harshly with other unrelated personnel. But now it seems completely wrong. Danzo is just a mad dog who doesn't care about anything. No wonder Sarutobi Hiruzen reminded him to be careful of Danzo after leaving the village. As well as your strength and use of Nine Tails chakra, it only took just over a month. Your talent is too terrifying. Thinking of Fangsu's speed just after he came out, Kakashi couldn't help but be a little stunned. His Sharingan could barely keep up, it was even faster than when he used Reikari. If he were to fight Fangsu now, he would not be surprised that he would lose. Naruto, who was replaced by Fangsu in his consciousness, also followed Kakashi and Suzuki's words and noticed the pale golden Nine Tails chakra. Ah, Fangsu, why did your Nine Tails chakra become like this? It's completely different from before. Now he's powerful and handsome, and he doesn't have a bad aura. Can you teach me? If I can do this, Sakura will definitely give up Suzuki's crush on me. The series of questions inside and outside his head made Fangsu's head feel a little big, so he could only explain in a cold voice. Before, because it was against the enemy, I didn't bother to remove the aura attached to the Nine Tails chakra, that's all. Fang was so weak that he didn't tell lies to deal with it. Nine Tails chakra is red, but the pure chakra that dispels the Nine Tails aura turns golden. He doesn't understand the principle. Maybe it's because it makes him look more handsome, right? But he prefers the original Nine Tails chakra. The evil and unrestrained aura on it makes him feel very comfortable. Seeing how many people wanted to ask more questions, Fangsu pointed impatiently into the distance. Don't ask nonsense, I'm very angry right now. Fangsu was very annoyed when Danzo continued to cause trouble for this body. He plans to exchange for another wave of strength after the mission to the country of waves is over. Then, as Danzo wished, Naruto was allowed to play with Danzo's roots. On the opposite side, while everyone's attention was no longer on them, the root ninjas quietly retreated to the forest. Seeing Fangsu pointing at them, they stopped sneaking around and immediately dispersed. Knowing Fangsu's strength, they fled in 5 different directions, hoping to survive as many as they could. Seeing someone trying to run away, Kakashi calmly planned to chase him, but was stopped by Fangsu. My favorite thing is to play hide and seek. Don't disturb my mood, understand? The aura and murderous intent on Fangsu's face made Kakashi feel cold all over. He didn't say anything more and just stayed where he was. In his consciousness, Naruto seemed to feel Fangsu's thoughts and asked eagerly, Fangsu, are you going to use cruel methods to kill people again? You can't do this. They are just trying to complete their mission. Fangsu sneered and said nothing, but his body turned into a phantom and suddenly disappeared from the place. Naruto's mind was defenseless against him. If you really don't want those people to die, you can naturally take back control of your body. But now in Naruto's subconscious, he clearly wanted those people to die. He said these words clearly because he wanted to set up a memorial arch so that he could pass the blame for those people's deaths on him and reduce the burden on his heart. At the same time, Fengxiu could also feel Naruto's subconscious control and suppression. He knew very well that when the person died, Naruto would immediately take his body back and at the same time severely criticize and suppress him. But so what? If Naruto was really nice to him, he would be really embarrassed to attack Naruto. Swish, 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 swish. In just 2 words from Naruto, all 5 people who escaped were kicked out of the woods. 4 of them had their limbs cut off by sharp blades, leaving only their torsos lying on the ground groaning in pain. Fengxiu also fell from the woods in a leisurely manner. There were still traces of blood dripping from the tips of the 3 golden foxtails behind him. Monster! Demonic fox! Kill us if you dare! The only intact root ninja roared at Fengxiu at the top of his lungs as if he saw a devil. It's really noisy. Fengxiu pinched his knuckles with one hand with a cold face. The foxtail behind him was raised like a sword and aimed at the ninja. Finally, it stabbed out like lightning. The only ninja with intact roots had his arms on both sides instantly penetrated and torn apart. But the wound strangely did not bleed. To leave a personal report, it should only be enough to have legs. As he spoke, a trace of the pale golden chakra was separated, and then turned red like blood, giving people an ominous feeling. The red blood condensed into a thin line, quickly connecting the 4 torsos and the remaining legs of the ninja. After doing all this, Fengxiu's foxtail rolled out again. In one fell swoop, the root ninja was swept away into the woods. The trunks connected in series on the ground were dragged in midair like kites. Get out! Remember to ask Danzo to wash his butt when you get back, so that your feet won't get dirty when I kick him.